here in Tampa. Who's going to start the year with an end-of-season win? LSU or Iowa? Outback Bowl to kick off 2014 next. We welcome you to the 28th edition of the Outback Bowl here from Tampa, Florida. And for the 21st year, it's the Big Ten against the SEC to start the new year. Here they come from Iowa City, the Hawkeyes, and from Baton Rouge, the LSU Tigers. Happy New Year, everyone. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters. Happy New Year, pal.
Happy New Year,
Good
Mike.
to be in your hometown. Boy, you know, for LSU, just a couple of years ago, they played for it all. They played the national championship game. So a bit disappointed. This is not where they wanted their season to end. Yet, John, their last regular season game, Zach Mettenberger, their senior quarterback, hurt. That means we'll see Anthony Jennings make his first start here this afternoon.
Yeah, in a New Year's Day bowl game. Not many true freshmen do that at the quarterback position. But fortunately for Jennings, LSU has surrounded him with great skilled players. And it starts with their tailback, Jeremy Hill. Hill is a downhill back, 235-pounder with breakaway speed. He ran for almost 1,200 yards this season. He's a difference maker. And when they throw the football, they've got two big-time receivers. Starting with Jarvis Landry, who's a circus catch machine, and Odell Beckham Jr. just won the Horning Award for the nation's most versatile football player. LSU's loaded around the young trigger.
All right, disappointment in Iowa City last year. They were a 4-win team. Good finish, though. They won their last 3, 4 of their last 5. So Iowa comes in here today at 8-4. And, John, it's the same formula we've seen for about a decade and a half with Kirk Ferrett's team. Very good offensive line. They can run the ball, and their defense very solid this year.
Well, they're tough. They're disciplined, and they play with effort just like Iowa always plays with. And they're led by James Morris, their middle linebacker. He's a coach on the field. He's a great communicator against these no-huddle offenses. He has very good range. He's a good open field tackler. He'll need to do that against the running quarterback today. He has very good zone awareness, Mike. He's got 4 interceptions. 41 starts, a 4-year starter. James Morris is a difference maker for the Hawkeyes.
And we'll see that veteran Iowa defense against the first-time starter, Jennings at quarterback first, as LSU will get the ball to start this 2014 Outback Bowl. Started raining pretty heavily about 9 a.m. this morning. It's been intermittent in between then. We look for showers through the day. That is Odell Beckham Jr. back deep to receive. Mike Myers set to kick. And off we go with 2014. And Beckham will take it from the 2. The numbers, Beckham down the 23-yard line. And Lisa Salters, let's talk about that first-time starter and quarterback for LSU.
Yeah, Mike, just look at last New Year's Day, Anthony Jennings had just graduated high school today. The Tigers in the Outback Bowl. And his teammates say they have no doubt that he is ready for this moment. They say he didn't even blink when in the Arkansas game when Mettenberger got hurt, led them down the field on that game-winning touchdown drive. That gave us confidence that he could execute the game plan, wide receiver Jarvis Landry told us, and his mobility will help us a lot. Of course, Iowa's defense, number 7 in the country, they're going to be looking to get after him, but they don't really want to talk about it. They say we're going to let our plate speak for us.
Well, they're going to follow Jeremy Hill on the opening snap of the game into Hawkeye territory and a big run of 42 yards.
Well, they run that power play at LSU. Most quarterbacks hand the ball off, but they toss it. They're going to get a double team. Neighbors is going to get the kick out, and Jeremy Hill gets the corner, and he has breakaway speed. Uncommon for a 235-pound back. What a start for LSU.
Hill, who ran for nearly 1,200 yards at 7 per carry. As rare, this Iowa defense so good against the run. Top 20 in the country. The 32, toss it right back to the sophomore by class out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Gain of 2. Louis Trinka-Passat made the tackle for the Hawkeyes up front.
This Trinka-Passat, he's added about 50 pounds throughout his Iowa career, Mike. He's a typical Iowa Hawkeye football player. Some of these guys don't emerge until late in their careers, but Trinka-Passat has really anchored this front for the Hawkeyes, and they're much improved up front.
2 runs for Hill. He takes a break. Terrence McGee Jr. out of Franklinton, Louisiana in there. Right at that field goal range line that you've become familiar with throughout this regular and bowl season. And McGee with the run with a yard shy of the first down. Tanner Miller, honorable mention, all Big Ten safety, made the tackle. So, John, what are you expecting to see from LSU offensively with the first-time starter Jennings at quarterback?
Well, I like what they've done. Hand the ball off to a real good back early and try to get in some favorable down and distance situations where they can run some bootlegs, some high percentage passes. Don't be surprised if Jennings' first throw isn't a play-action bootleg off of a primary run.
Hill back in. It's 3rd and 1. Iowa stuffs the line, but Hill to the right, able to get through for the first down at the 21-yard line.
You know, Mike, this LSU offensive line has gone through a lot of changes. They had some injuries in their last regular season game against Arkansas. Good to see their center back, Elliott Porter, number 55. He got hurt midway through that Arkansas game, and over there on the right side, you see the right tackle back as well, Hawkins.
Gerald Hawkins, redshirt freshman, injured his left knee. And a flag thrown as Carl Davis, second-team All Big Ten performer, hopped in the neutral zone.
Offside, number 71 defense, contact, 5-yard penalty, first down.
You see Greg Burks, rest of the crew, Big 12, third team on the field here this afternoon.
One of the rare occasions you'll see LSU in a huddle. Offensive coordinator Cam Cameron has kept it up-tempo most of the time this year.
Dylan Gordon, they don't throw their tight ends much. Gordon moved over to the right. Just paved the path for Hill. Inside the 10. Hill at the 5, and he's out of bounds. It'll be 1st and goal as he's going to be marked at the 6. Gain of 11.
Well, it's the same play they ran on the first play of the game. It's a power play, but they toss the ball to Jeremy Hill. They get the kick-out block, a good block by Beckham on the perimeter, and Jeremy Hill has taken it to the Hawkeyes early.
First 1,000-yard back LSU's had since Stephen Ridley back in 2010. Could move to the 2nd-best single-season total before this afternoon is done. 1st and goal for the freshman Anthony Jennings. Another handoff. It's been all on the ground. Hill stopped there at the 5 by Tanner Miller. John mentioned him earlier, Cam Cameron. He's calling the plays. Of course, he was fired late in the season by Baltimore. Jim Caldwell, Iowa alum, took over the Ravens last year, took them to the Super Bowl. Cam Cameron hired by his good friend Les Miles. He and Les on the same staff at Michigan, so knew each other from their Ann Arbor days. And Cam has come in and really given this offense a boost.
Yes, he has, and he's given it an NFL flavor. They do a lot of different things, running the ball, different formations, and their passing game, in spite of what you've seen today, is very good.
Power people in. On the toss, just a couple of yards for Kenny Hilliard. One of 4 backs we'll see. He was tightened up by Kirksey, the captain, the linebacker, on his Iowa team to set up 3rd and goal.
Here comes some big guys for the Iowa Hawkeyes. 3 defensive linemen have just checked in his goal-to-goal situations, and LSU continues to pack it in and pound it. Let's see if there's a play-action pass here from Jennings.
270-pound fullback J.C. Copeland is a couple of yards ahead of Hill. Jennings keeps to the end zone, and it's an LSU touchdown on the opening drive.
Don't tell me Les Miles didn't take advantage of these 12 bowl practices, Mike. You have a different quarterback, you have a different style of offense, and he's put the option back in LSU Tiger football. That's a speed option off the left side, and you see what Jennings brings to the table.
Tall, strong-arm Mettenberger is not one who is going to be running those types of plays. And well, you think back over the pedigree of LSU football as you look at the injured Mettenberger, and the players like a Jordan Jefferson, Ryan Parlow, even back in the day, a little more edge rush, the ability to mix the option in. Touchdown, and the extra point is added by the freshman kicker, Colby Delahousie. 8 plays, all runs. Hill opened it with a 42-yarder and capped off by the run for the touchdown by Jennings.
Well, it's just going to be a speed option off your left side, and you're going to see Hill, number 33, stay in pitch phase, but they're going to option the end man on the line of scrimmage. Christian Kirksey, number 20, took the tailback, and Jennings takes it to pay dirt. But you have to really like what LSU did with a freshman quarterback in the opening drive against Iowa. All on the ground, Mike. They handed the ball to two different tailbacks, and they physically took it to the Iowa Hawkeye defense there.
Kirk Ferentz team with that very good run defense that we mentioned, John, only giving up 300 yards a game, 121 yards rushing, but you always put that asterisk, the lack of the dynamic offenses in the Big Ten. This is certainly a step up in class and quality, and that LSU offense comes back. That's got to be a good feeling for Jennings. As Lisa said, a year ago graduating high school, he graduated in December, loaded up on his classes to be ready to take part in LSU's spring ball. Sat behind Mettenberger all year, gets the chance here, and gets it on the board. James Harrison at Dallas, Texas will kick it for LSU. Jordan Cotton up to get the kick at 5. Cotton bumps into his own man, keeps it alive. He's brought down over at the 20-yard line. LSU looks a little bit fired up here to start the game. Connor Neighbors made the stop. Of course, we set the table for you for the granddaddy of them all, the 100th Rose Bowl game. Stanford and Michigan State, two very similar teams who play terrific defense in their own right, set to go head-to-head in Pasadena.
Yeah, that'll be a physical game. That's a double chin strap game right there. Don't miss it.
We'll be coming up 4:30 Eastern. As soon as we're done, just put down the remote and settle in. Great day of college football here on ESPN. Jake Rudock, sophomore out of Weston, Florida, is the quarterback for Iowa. It's a team that loves to do their work on the ground behind the junior running back Mark Weissman. Weissman left, gain 4, spilled by Jalen Mills, who LSU fans is starting at safety today. We'll detail that in a little bit. First, John, what do you think of this sophomore Rudock, who's from about 4 hours from here, Weston, Florida?
This kid is sharp, Mike. He does a lot at the line of scrimmage. You can see right away they've upped the tempo, and they must beware of the LSU Bengal speed on defense. They can run to the ball. They're playing a lot of young players this year. They lost a lot of underclassmen to the draft, but if you throw bubble screens against this team, they will find the ball quickly.
Cavante Martin-Manley with the reception that lost a yard, and quickly it is 3rd and long for Iowa's offense. Damon Bullock, the back. Out in the pattern, Rudock throwing, underthrown and incomplete. He got hit as he threw for Tavon Smith, and now the flag comes in late. It was the pressure by Anthony Johnson that forced the ball out early, and then Jalen Mills, who's starting at safety, usually a corner, we got the start at safety today, involved in coverage, and now the conference of the officials.
After the play, personal foul, number 28 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, Mike, Anthony Johnson, you said it. He didn't hit the quarterback. He planted him. Number 90 off your right side, crushes Rudock. And then a penalty late down the field occurs. Unnecessary by Mills.
Iowa had nothing going on that drive, but it stays alive because of the 15. And from the 36, a slip and a fall for Bullock, who will lose a yard. Now, on the LSU defensive side, John, something important we should let everyone know, and you may have heard it late last night or heard it on game day. Ego Ferguson, perhaps their best defensive tackle. Todd McShay has him rated as the 5th best defensive tackle. He is not with the team. A medical issue was what the LSU folks told us. He has not been with the team here in Tampa. So they're missing one of their big push men in the middle. That's the tight end, C.J. Fedorowicz. And if Iowa's going good, you're going to see a lot of him. And they'll call it a first down at the 46-yard line.
I think they need to go to Fedorowicz in space against D.J. Welter, the linebacker for LSU. He's going to struggle in one-on-one coverage in these open formations. And once again, there goes that Iowa Hawkeye tempo.
Going even quicker than we've seen them during the years. Mark Weissman, the junior captain, runs to the left and gains a half dozen. Give him 7.
Well, they're trying to wear LSU out. They know they're light inside with Ferguson not making the trip.
And Weissman again. This time he is stopped. Tre'Davious White, all freshman vote by the coaches down in the Southeastern Conference. It's 3rd and a couple.
You know, I know this offense reminds us of the New England Patriots, Mike, because head coach Kirk Ferentz has Bill Belichick background. And you see a lot of the elements of the New England Patriot offense when you watch the Hawkeyes. Multiple tight ends and up-tempo football.
Jake Dusey, one of those tight ends, motions to the stack on the near side. LSU has it covered, so Rudock has nowhere to go with it. He has to run out of bounds with a loss of a couple of yards, and it'll be 4th down. DJ Welter escorting him to the sideline, and the Hawkeyes going to punt it away.
That's that good defense by LSU. They played zone coverage. It looked like Iowa was expecting man-to-man. They had a 2-man route, nowhere to go with the football, and once again, good team pursuit by the LSU defense.
Connor Cornbrandt, sophomore punter, in for the Hawkeyes. Odell Beckham waits at the 10. He'll let that sail over his head and into the end zone. Kick was 50. The net is 30. One drive as a starter, 1 touchdown. Let's see what Anthony Jennings has up next. Iowa won the toss here this afternoon and deferred the option in the second half. So LSU took the ball and went down the field with all runs. 77 yards, 60 of those rushing yards coming from Jeremy Hill. 42 on the opening play. That's the reason LSU is up 7-0 as they start their second drive. From the 20, it is Hill. It's back to the middle, and he'll pick up 5 yards. James Morris made the tackle inside. John, you talked about it earlier. Morris, Hitchens, Kirksey, those 3 all-conference linebackers for Iowa. The heart and soul, and need to be big in this game today.
Yeah, Morris, the 4-year starter, he does a lot above the neck. He's going to check in and out of defenses. But one thing is certain, Mike, they better start defending the run or they'll get run right out of Tampa.
10 plays, 10 runs. This is Hill. His own man got pushed back in his way, and he's going to lose a yard. Vidal Alexander, the left guard, got shoved back and impeded the progress of the running back Hill.
That's Iowa defense right there. It's effort to the football. Toss sweep to the left side, and you're going to see 4 or 5 Iowa Hawkeyes converging on the ball carrier. That's what you're used to seeing in Des Moines. Big 3rd down for this Iowa defense. They need to generate some confidence, and they're in their sub package. Reggie Spearman, a freshman, at the bottom of the screen. They try to get as much speed on the field as they can on these 3rd downs to track these athletic quarterbacks.
Stars of this LSU offense are the receivers, but it'll be McGee keeping and denied the 1st down. So 11 straight plays, all runs. And John Loudermilk, the junior corner out of Carrollton, Ohio, came up and made the play. And LSU is 3 and out.
Experienced safety play has really helped the Hawkeyes down the stretch. They haven't given up big plays, and Loudermilk has been a very good one-on-one tackler. Nice play.
An Aussie punts for LSU. Jamie Keene, the sophomore from Queensland. He's going to kick it to Cavante Martin Manley. Cavante's got it at the 22. An excellent punt return with some space and down the sideline. Nice return by Martin Manley out to the 43-yard line. 21-yard return means only 30 of net. The first little boost of the day for the Hawkeyes.
The 2014 Outback Bowl is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. Ford. Go further. And Aflac, official partner of the Heisman Trophy.
What damage can 2 football teams do in 90 minutes? How about 5,000 pounds of food at the team dinner? From sirloin steak to chicken to ribs, baked potatoes, salad, of course, coconut shrimp and bloomin' onions. After all, the Outback Bowl is two teams put away well over 5,000 pounds of food at the dinner.
That's a lot.
But it was early in the week, so the guys were able to work it off and get back ready. Great week here in Tampa, as always, for the teams from the SEC and the Big Ten. Second drive, Iowa, starting at the 43 after the nice punt return by Cavante Martin-Manley. Here is Rudock with time, delivers incomplete. He's trying to get to C.J. Fedorowicz, the all-Big Ten tight end.
I like Quan Alexander, this outside linebacker at LSU. Played as a true freshman last year, had some injuries, has really solidified himself, I think, as the next great outside linebacker at LSU. He can do a lot of things. That time, his coverage was outstanding.
See a decent amount of empty, no backs. Even with the multiple tight ends, they'll still spread you out. LSU brings a little pressure. And on the sideline, it's caught by Don Shumpert. 15th catch for the senior from St. Louis. It'll be 3rd and 5. You know, John, we have seen it, and we see it every Monday night. But there are LSU Tigers all over the NFL. Year after year, the draft has seen so many going. Last year was ridiculous, the number of players drafted on the defensive side. So, finally attrition is set in, and this is not the superstar-laden LSU defensive cast that we're used to.
A lot of young performers out there, but that'll probably change in a year or so, Mike.
3rd and 5. Rudock is flushed. Steps in and throws. Confidently shy of the first down as Ricky Jefferson made the tackle on the running back Damon Bullock. And despite the good field position, it will be 3 and out for Iowa.
That's what John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, loves to do. Get you behind in the down and distance. And he goes to his 6th defensive backfield package and blitzes you. Forces the ball to come out quick. And right now, Iowa's receivers are having a hard time separating from these LSU defenders.
Punt number 2. See if Connor Cornbrad can do a better job of keeping it in the field of play. He will. And Iowa will roll down to 2. 14 punts now inside the 20-yard line for Cornbrad, the sophomore.
ESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
That's number 4 Outback Chevrolet, driven by Kevin Harvick, who brought the coin out for the coin toss here this afternoon. Iowa fans hanging through the rates. A lot better than being in Iowa City right now weather-wise, even though it's damp. We had movement up front here with this drive starting at the 2. Looks like that may give LSU a little bit of breathing room. Greg Burks.
Offside. Defense number 71 made contact. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So, John, 11 plays, 11 runs with the first-time starting quarterback, the freshman Jennings. You got some good receivers here who are just waiting for the ball to get up in the air.
Everybody says, hey, is Jarvis Landry, is he going to come out? Is Odell Beckham Jr. going to come out in the NFL draft? They're probably thinking about it right now. They don't start seeing some passes. I know how these receivers are. They want to impact the game.
2,000-yard receivers. 1st and 5. Hill with the run. He's not going anywhere, but we are. Happy New Year, Robert Flores, in the studio with an update.
Happy New Year to you, Mike. This instant replay presented by Surface on ESPN2. Tommy Armstrong to Quincy Anunwa. They're at the half. That's the only touchdown of the half. Nebraska leading Georgia 10-9.
All right, Robert. Big Ten SEC field to the entirety of the early window here this afternoon on New Year's Day 2014. Maybe a throw after a dozen runs. Here's the first throw of the game. Oh, and with the fullback Copeland it's Hill, Jeremy Hill slipping and falling. It almost became with the popped up in the air touchdown going the other way for Iowa.
It's a simple sprint out to the right. You're going to see Hill slip and fall. Luckily, that ball wasn't intercepted by number 19, B.J. Lowry, off the ricochet. And this is where these Hawkeye fans will get into the game a little bit in this backed-up situation. It would be huge for Iowa to get off the field and create some field position for their offense.
On 3rd down, wet ball. True freshman will go empty. Iowa rushing 3. The throw's complete for the first down and more. Jarvis Landry across the 20 to the 21-yard line. That's 14 first down yards for the junior.
That's a nice throw by Jennings. Just a stick route. You're going to see just a quick out right here by number 80. Jarvis Landry catches the ball, and he goes immediately north and south to get the first down. He's a polished wide receiver. I really liked everything about him yesterday. He's got a little pro mindset to him, Mike. He's a polished young man. I like him.
Conversation here with 4 of the 7 Big 12 officials. The first down was clearly gained over there at the 21.
Play, sideline interference, LSU. Penalty mid-post, half the distance to the goal, first down.
I would assume that meant one of the officials trying to run up and down the sideline had somebody in the white. We have David Warden, who's the assistant coordinator of Big 12 officials, also the replay coordinator for the Big 12 of the Mountain West. David, would I assume by hearing that was the call there?
It should be, yes. The white area that you see in the team bench is for the officials to work the game, and the team and coaches are supposed to be out of that solid white area.
But the first down was already gained, so it remains 1st and 10. Doesn't become 1st and 20 after the penalty. And Alfred Blue with the run gains a couple of yards. Of course, we've seen very famously NFL films over the years, John. The get-back coach. Usually it's a strength conditioning guy, very often college as well. Keep the paint clear for the officials. Get back, get back, get back.
They usually give you a warning. That's a little harsh early in a bowl game to make that call.
The senior Alfred Blue remains the back, and Jennings incomplete. Past the line of scrimmage, but nobody close to over there. And now the question and conversation will be, was he within the tackle box?
There is no intentional grounding. The ball went beyond the line of scrimmage.
Christian Kirksey makes an excellent play. He's going to come off your right side. He's on a blitz. He contains the quarterback. That's how you play. And Kirksey is an outside linebacker with strong safety type ability. Very athletic, productive senior for this Hawkeye defense.
Break there for Jennings. The freshman had no receiver on that side.
Watch these Hawkeyes move around and try to confuse the young quarterback.
They're bringing 5. Jennings in trouble and brought down by James Morris.
So we talked about in our pregame. They want to blitz this young quarterback. Stop the run, get him in predictable passing situations, and see what he knows about pass protection and blitz pickups. Here you see Morris on a blitz. He's done it all season for Iowa.
John, the first punt from the Aussie Keene wasn't very good. Low hang time. This is a terrific punt returner, 7th in the country in Cavante Martin Manley. Can tell everybody get away from this one. And he'll let it bounce down to the 38-yard line. And that's where Iowa will take over. Of course, we have Big Ten SEC here to start New Year's Day. We have Pac-12, excuse me, Big Ten coming up with the Rose Bowl game right after us. You know, John, when we talked to Kirk Ferentz yesterday, I thought he made an interesting point. So think about the teams that have represented the Big Ten in the Rose Bowl. Wisconsin twice, Michigan State since there was a championship. Those teams play football the way Iowa plays football. Line them up, full back, good defense. So they like the model they have right now in Iowa City.
I do too. I like the way they play. You're going to see a lot of that in the Rose Bowl this afternoon from Stanford and Michigan State. North and south, 2-back sets, old school footballs making a comeback.
Iowa trying to get its offense going here. 3rd drive. And Rudock, the quarterback's going to take off and run. He'll gain a couple of yards. He was pulled down by Jamari Rasco, the defensive end. I want to tell you a little bit about Rudock, the quarterback for the 15-year head coach of the Hawkeyes. Was the South Florida Player of the Year in high school in 2010. And at a very good high school, St. Thomas Aquinas. They won it all, the district, the region, the state, the mythical national championship. Not heavily recruited, but eventually signing at Iowa. as he's hit. And the pass incomplete. It's Rasko who made the great pressure last play. Able to come up and get Rudock this time. 2 plays in a row for the junior from Shreveport.
When you run these bootlegs, you are counting on the action of the fake to fool the backside defender. So far, hasn't happened. And this is not where Rudock wants to be, behind in the down and distance against LSU. But they do have two true freshman cornerbacks starting in this Outback Bowl.
Shard Robinson getting the start as Jalen Mills moves to safety. There's pressure coming from Mills, who slipped, and Rudock's pass is incomplete, trying to get it to Tavon Smith. So it's another 3 and out. This Iowa offense has been unable to find anything to work here in the opening quarter.
This number 16, Tre'Davious White, true freshman. He started all season long. They really like him. He's from Shreveport, Louisiana, same town that Morris Claiborne's from. A natural bump and run defender. Nice work by the LSU defense.
Bornbrath punting for Iowa. On the bounce. Beckham going to take it at the 20, and Odell Beckham Jr. only a return of 3 to the 23-yard line. Check LSU's offense in the early going.
Well, they're pulling the right guard. They're using the fullback to lead up on the inside linebacker, and they're tossing a little G scheme. And they're wearing Iowa out with this play. Right guard's going to pull and trap the strong safety. The fullback leads up on the onside linebacker. And it's a reverse pivot toss. And so far, Jeremy Hill is thrashing Iowa with that scheme off the right side. We'll see what adjustments Phil Parker, the defensive coordinator of Iowa, makes.
Saw a big old 56 at right guard. The sophomore Trey Turner, second team All-SEC this season. Good on the move. Here is Jennings, just a short little pass. Get it to the fullback, and Connor Neighbors is upended by John Loudermilk. A little comfortable gain of 5. You know, John, when we saw Jennings hop in there when Mettenberger got hurt, trailing Arkansas late in the game, it was some kind of drive that the freshman put together, a 99-yard game-winning drive. And on that drive, he had a good scramble for 21 yards. And completed 4 passes, including Traven Durrell's memorable 49-yard touchdown to win the game against Arkansas on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Reverse in the hands of Beckham, who will throw. Odell Beckham putting it in the air. Incomplete, trying to get it to his fellow wide receiver, Jarvis Landry. Well, John, let's go back. Here was that drive Jennings put together against Arkansas.
Excuse me, Mike. Yeah, started with a bootleg. He stopped, popped, threw a beautiful ball to his tight end, Dillon, to get it started. And then he found his deep ball accuracy. A huge game-winning spiral to Traven Durrell, and the legend began, Mike. But 3rd and 5, this is where LSU has been the best in the country on 3rd down conversions. Let's see what the young man can do.
Iowa brings 4 out of his hands quick, and Jennings finds Jarvis Landry for the first down, catch 77 on the season for Jarvis.
Same play that Landry caught earlier in the game. The volume of offense is not what it was with Mettenberger at quarterback for obvious reasons.
It's down run. Jeremy Hill got the game going with a bang. Guys going with a long 42-yard run on the opening play of the quarter. That run is going to bring him near 75 yards and bring this first quarter to an end. LSU's offense unable to get on track. 14 plays. Or rather, Iowa's offense, 14 plays and 22 yards. LSU had the opening touchdown drive, and after one in Tampa on New Year's Day 2014, LSU 7, Iowa nothing. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters back with you. 2014 Outback Bowl. The guys from Iowa City with a struggle here on the offensive end. 3 drives, 3 punts to begin. Meantime, LSU, that very good opening drive led by the running of Jeremy Hill. It's capped off by a touchdown by the true freshman Anthony Jennings. And it's 7-0 LSU as we begin this second quarter. For LSU, this is kind of an interesting stretch here. You got Jennings, the quarterback of the future, and couple of very big high school players who are playing in one of the high school all-star games, the Under Armour game over in St. Pete here in a couple of days. So they want to see if they're going to get a big running back and wide receiver there. Talk about the future of LSU football, perhaps taking shape in about 48 hours down here in Tampa, St. Pete. Here is Hill, good cut up the field. And Jeremy Hill from Baton Rouge takes it into Iowa territory. However, there's a marker down on the edge.
A little holding here, I think, on LSU. Toss the ball on the perimeter. These receivers have to sustain those blocks a long time. I believe Landry got caught.
Holding, number 80, offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
John, as you prepared for the game and watched Landry and Odell Beckham Jr., the 2 1,000-yard receivers, what do you see of these guys who are thinking about going to the next level after this game?
I think they're more NFL ready than a lot of guys because of the offense they play in. This is Cam Cameron, who was the coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens last year. They're not running bubble screens and quick screens. These guys are running double moves, slot combinations, audibles. So they're ahead of the learning curve. Love to see them all stay in school, though, if you ask me.
Messaging across the breathe right from Beckham, who Todd McShay has as his 9th rated wide receiver at this point. This is Alfred Blue, and this is the Iowa defense. All over that one, led by the captain, James Mars.
Let me show you some of these catches, Mike. You asked, how about this number 80, Jarvis Landry? I mean, Mettenberger put it up, and he knew Landry would go get it. But some of the catches he made were circus catches. Here's Odell Beckham Jr. on a double move. They run a lot of different patterns, and it's a vertical pass offense, always has been, with Cam Cameron calling the shots.
3rd and 14, swinging to Blues, got blocking downfield, but a beautiful play by Desmond King. The freshman from Detroit came up, read it, snuffed it out, limited the gain to 7. And on 4th down, here comes the punting crew again for the Tigers.
How about Desmond King, Mike? Just a true freshman out of Detroit. He's got to bring down the big back. Alfred Blue in the open field. What a play, and what a year he's had. Not many kids can step into Big Ten play and go wire to wire as a starter at the corner position.
Away by Keene. Martin Manley got out of the way, and it's a beautiful one. It'll be down at the 5. So a 57-yard punt will mark it at the 8 first touch. But a good job by the Aussie, of course, in the Outback Bowl.
Aflac.
You can see the Duck was able to survive New Year's Eve. Aflac trivia question. Since '73, 3 FBS schools with 2 15-year tenured head coaches. I'm going to give you one as my New Year's gift. Iowa. Hayden Fry, 20 years. Kirk Ferentz, his 15th season. Who are the other 2?
Coaches, 15 years. They don't even last 2 years this day and age.
Or one if you're in Cleveland. Rudock with a pass on 1st down, incomplete. Try to get to Matt Vandenberg, his freshman receiver. Davius White with the coverage. We send a hello out to Coach Fry. Hayden Fry's out in Nevada watching his old school. Iowa Hawkeyes. Coach Fry, Happy New Year. Hope it's a good, healthy year for you. Of course, Kirk Ferentz was on Hayden Fry's staff and had some time in the National Football League in Cleveland before coming back here. A good 15-year run it has been. Rudock with a shot. It's caught at the 30. 1st down for Dorowitz. Here's Robert Flores in the studio.
All right, Mike, Capital One Bowl on ABC. South Carolina and Wisconsin. Connor Shaw to Bruce Ellington. And right now they're tied at 7, early 2nd quarter on ABC.
All right, Robert, thank you. Jordan Canzeri with the run here, gaining a couple of yards after the 22-yard pickup by Fedorowicz, the tight end.
Iowa trying everything. No huddle, up tempo, no backs. They're trying every way they can to move this football against a young LSU defense. And Rudock does a lot himself with audibles. I like to see this. Most quarterbacks I see in college football, Mike, look to the sideline for all the answers, but not Rudock.
Plays Canzeri again. And the ball seemed to come out. It did come out. 35-yard line. Juan Alexander on that initial hit, and no signal from the officials. So they umpire it.
Kanziri had fumbling problems early in the season, and
Lawson came off the pile with the ball. Les Miles wants to know the same
Forward
thing.
progress was ruled on the field.
Okay.
Third down.
They called forward progress. You saw that pop out on the hit from Jordan Allen.
I don't understand. I don't understand how LSU has the ball. They don't get the ball.
Les Miles in disbelief on the sideline, understandably so. And Rudolph throws complete. Drive will keep going. Jake Dusey, the sophomore tight end, to midfield. Oh, that's a disappointing result there as the whistle for forward progress blew. It's the first third down conversion for Iowa.
They do a nice job with Dusey in these tight end formations. A little option route. He can break inside or outside. You see he lost it, fell down, and Dusey took advantage of it.
From midfield, Rudolph trying to slant it for Dusey. And it's incomplete.
One thing about these tight ends at Iowa, particularly Dusey, he's a joker. He's a tight end that can line up as a fullback, on the line as a tight end, as an H-back, and even as a slot receiver or wide receiver. Dusey is the tight end that ripped Ohio State, Mike, with over 130 yards receiving. He's the fastest of the three Iowa tight ends.
Had a huge game. That opened some folks' eyes after losing to Michigan State. Iowa went to the shoe in Columbus. Hung with the Buckeyes for a while. Lost by 10, 34-24. Pressure coming. Rudolph hit as he throws, and it was almost an interception for Rasco. And Jalen Mills in that safety role has come in untouched multiple times.
Coming off your left side, untouched. Rudolph tries to buy time for the screen to develop, and that ball should have been intercepted by LSU. Third down and long, and look at all the defensive backs that LSU is using in these obvious passing situations. 6 of them, and they're going to try to overload the protection and confuse Rudolph.
Rudolph has some time, going to take a shot deep downfield, and it's intercepted by Tre'Davious White. The freshman was step for step with the fastest Hawkeye receiver, Damon Powell. And he comes up with his second collegiate interception.
Well, it was a 3-man rush. They fool Iowa. They go with a maximum zone. They go with the deep ball, and there's that guy, White. Outstanding play.
Yeah, that's my kind of night.
The 2014 Outback Bowl is brought to you by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase. And Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
All the communities here, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, get involved. A little beach day for Iowa and LSU a couple of days ago. So is that the weather you tell me about all the time down here?
That's why I live here. I mean, it's a great beach. We had a lot of fun. You show up and the rain comes with you.
You blame me. Happy New Year to you as well. LSU taking over at the 7. It was just the same as a punt. That interception that was thrown by Rudolph. And it's a couple of yard run for Jeremy Hill, but it could have been more.
Well, DeMont Powell runs right by Tre'Davious White at the bottom of the screen. I think Rudolph's just got to step up in the pocket and let it rip. He underthrew his speed burner on the outside, and if you make a mistake, Tre'Davious White will get it. But Rudolph's got to pick up his play. They're going to have to throw the ball to win today. They can't just rely on running the ball persistently.
And you can see that, Johnny. He just kind of flat-footed, just stepped in there. He had a chance to climb the pocket. Had some space for the first time.
Very good protection.
After a gain of 2, it's Hill again. He'll get to the 13-yard line. So Jeremy Hill is draft eligible. He sat out after his high school senior year. LSU fans know the story, the legal issues. There was arrested. There was a carnal knowledge charge. Baton Rouge police in 2011 set out that season. Incident with a fellow student outside a bar in April, had curfew that he had to deal with from what all the LSU folks have said, despite the legal issues early on in his days, pre and at Baton Rouge. He has been very good in the leadership, the play, and how he's comported himself over the last dozen months. Terrence McGee is in. It's 3rd and 3, and that pass by Jennings is incomplete. He tried to get it to Beckham, and one more time, the freshman Desmond King in coverage.
This Desmond King has the look of a top flight corner. It's going to be bump and run coverage. Jennings stares it down, and in transition, Desmond King is all over the Horning Award winner in coverage. Simple hitch route. And Iowa's off the field again on 3rd down. That's what LSU has done to opponents this year. They've dominated with their offense on 3rd down. So far today, it hasn't happened.
More pressure on Keene. Another good kick. And it's muffed by Cavante Martin-Manley. And LSU has it at the 39-yard line. James Wright with the recovery. And the top 10 punt return man in the country, Cavante Martin-Manley, tried to make a fair catch, couldn't do it.
I don't know if he slipped or misjudged it, but obviously the field of play is wreaking havoc on a lot of these returners and receivers. I think he just misjudged that. He's fading away from the ball, and this LSU punt coverage, #1 in the nation this year, and you can see why. They've got a number of Tigers that can run and cover.
I've seen this a couple of times with LSU too. The Aussie punter puts a little bit of that odd spin, just slow, odd spiral. Sometimes tough to catch. Problem there for Martin Manley. Terrence McGee is stopped, and King has put together a pretty good highlight reel in this first half. Well, tonight, BCS games continue. Really biggest game, Central Florida and Baylor. Those two schools have seen as they make their BCS debut. I want to see Blake Bortles. Now, McShay has him high on his quarterback list. I want to see what he does. I've seen Bryce Petty and that Baylor offense put up, look like an odometer with the score. So, Central Florida, Baylor, you'll see that tonight. Sean McDonough, Chris Spielman, Shannon Spake. Out there in the desert, they'll have it for you right here on ESPN after the Rose Bowl in prime time tonight. Jennings taking a shot for Beckham. Incomplete. Jennings is quarterbacking as Mettenberger is injured. This was Todd's top 5 quarterback list, as you've seen on the bottom line. The breaking news, Teddy Bridgewater has said he is going. We'll see Bortles tonight. Manziel was ridiculous last night. You're waiting for midnight and the ball to drop, and you just watch Manziel. Derek Carr struggled in his bowl game against SC, and we'll talk a bit later about Mettenberger. There are others to add to that list.
Yes, there are. Aaron Murray also recovering from injury at Georgia, but back to the game. 3rd and 12, and Iowa once again trying to confuse the young quarterback.
Bringing 4, pressure up the middle. Mars couldn't get there. And that Jennings dances around the line of scrimmage and completes it to Alfred Blue for the first down. Again, if you have any part of your body hovering over the line of scrimmage, you're still okay.
That's a very good play and good awareness by a freshman quarterback, knowing where to get rid of the football. If he takes one more step, that's going to be beyond the line of scrimmage. But Jennings breaks contain. He's a threat to run, and he does have the ability to throw the football.
Gain of 17. Here's Alfred Blue. Punishing run by Blue. Gain of 6, John.
I thought Alfred Blue was the best back at LSU. He had a serious injury last year. He's been granted another year of medical hardship. Who knows if he'll come back. But this is a talented back. That's the job I want if I come back and coach. I want to be the running back coach at LSU.
Blue running to the left. Again, if you would leave me for that job.
Think about it. I mean, if you had Alfred Blue and Jeremy Hill, and you've seen Terrence McGee, Hilliard's standing down there. He hasn't even got to come into the game yet. And it's credit to LSU for using all these players, and it's a credit to the players for remaining unselfish.
That incredible atmosphere, talent base of high school players in Louisiana treating this program so well.
And Landry is just begging for a shot against his one-on-one coverage. Let's see if the freshman dials him up.
3rd and 2, just a toss to Hill. Puts a shoulder down right into Carl Davis. And it's a first down. On the run by Hill as we were watching warm-ups and saw him in the hotel. 6'2", 235 with that speed. Big punishing back.
You're not kidding, Mike. I didn't realize he was that big studying LSU tape all week. And he's not running behind a bunch of munchkins now. This is a big, physical offensive line. They're young players. There's a chance they could all come back to Baton Rouge next fall, including Hill.
Off the muffed punt. Great opportunity here for LSU to extend the lead. Hill to 10 at the 5 to the end zone. Jeremy Hill, LSU touchdown.
That's the exact same play that the Wisconsin Badgers hurt Iowa with earlier in the season. Great study by the LSU coaches. They saw a weakness in Iowa's scheme and they exploited it again. Right off the left side, and Jeremy Hill is making a statement today running the football.
$95 yards now for Hill. And that muff punt by Cavante Martin Manley. There's LSU, the good field position, they cash in. LOC adds the extra point, and LSU up 14.
I like this running game right off the left side behind Lyle Collins. You see the tight end ball to Jeremy Hill. Takes it to pay dirt.
Here's your friend. Thank you. Since 1973, our Affleck trivia answer. We're throwing around a couple. I want to throw out Oklahoma. Who'd you want to throw out?
I would take the Tennessee Volunteers.
You threw out Michigan.
Phil Fulmer and Johnny Majors. Look at it.
That is awesome.
My
we
wife
didn't know
went
the
to
answer
Tennessee.
coming in.
I should know that.
That is great. I'm all fired up by that. Your wife cheered at Tennessee, didn't she?
Yes, she did. And we need to get the Tennessee Volunteers back in the Outback Bowl. Butch Jones is doing a great job there. I expect the Vols to be back. He'll probably be there 15 years or more.
Barry Switzer and Bob Stoops in Oklahoma. Johnny Majors and Philip Fulmer in Tennessee. Bart Fox, our producer, should be proud. The two pro guys got your stinking Affleck trivia answer with no help. So there. Adam Jupiter came up with the question. The crew in the truck. You Friday night guys. The Monday night guys got you. All right, Iowa, let's see what you got here. Jordan Cotton on a return. Oh, he's upended by Deion Jones, a linebacker. And now this LSU team, little momentum, dominating the line. Now they're picking up their play here.
Watch this at real speed, Mike.
Good job by Jones.
I mean, LSU played 6 different linebackers, maybe 7 this year. And all these young players now have experience. They just came off 12 practices here. They have great depth in competition and obviously a bright future here.
Mark Weissman, nearly 1,000 yards rushing for Iowa this year, has not gotten anything going here thus far, and he's only going to gain 2 yards running to the left here. Weissman 4 carries, 12 yards so far, 938 yards on the season out of Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Looks like a fullback. He was a fullback. And then as injuries mounted, he became the running back last year. Did such a good job. They kept him in that spot. Had a very productive season this year.
And here come the defensive backs for the LSU Tigers. John Chavis continues to flood the field with fast perimeter players. And I wouldn't be surprised if Iowa tries to run the football in one of these third and medium situations. This might be a little bit too long, but Mississippi ran the ball against this light front of LSU, but this might be out of the down and distance range.
This is 3rd and 6 for Jake Rudock, the sophomore quarterback. Oh, he threw it right into Jalen Mills' hands, and Mills almost had a pick. Rudock has not been sharp so far today. 6 of 15.
Well, it's going to be a square in by Cavante Martin Manley, number 11, and Mills undercut him. That's a poor route by Martin Manley. He's got to flatten that off. If you fade out of the break, that ball will be intercepted. Right now, John Chavis has all the answers for Iowa's offense.
Time for the Hawkeyes. Odell Beckham Jr. has got it at the 35. And he get to the edge. Odell Beckham Jr. strung out, well covered by Iowa. Turn of only 5 as Tanner Miller led the cover. LSU in control. Mills almost gave Les Miles a short field. I'm sorry, Coach. Happy New Year, man. Should have that pick 6 for you. Today's drive recap brought to you by Buick. How about the 2 touchdown drives?
Well, they're running the ball, Mike, a lot of different ways. It's a speed option. You see Jennings option Christian Kirksey. He's got Miles as the pitch back. Easy read, touchdown. Then they ran a counter load. They pulled the right guard. They pull the tight end, and they load the edge with their fullback, and it's a walk-in touchdown for Jeremy Miles. That's the exact same play that I saw Wisconsin run repeatedly against Iowa. You have to credit Cam Cameron and this offensive coaching staff for taking advantage of their bye-week preparation.
And LSU's defense is not giving Iowa anything from the 40. Over the top for the fullback, Connor Neighbors. And behind him, an incomplete. Neighbors caught 5 passes this year, including a 52-yarder that he had against Kent State in week 3. This was the season John LSU opened 4-0, then lost that game to Georgia, that shootout when nobody could tackle anybody, and that's when you start scratching your head about this LSU defense. Came back, beat Mississippi State, beat the quarterback challenged Gators, but then the loss to Ole Miss, that was the one that perhaps is the most disappointing for Les Miles' team this year.
Well, they've been a little bit inconsistent, but if they win today, it'll be 4 straight years they've won 10 or more games. That's pretty good.
Nowhere to go for Jennings. Got out of it and finds Beckham on the sideline. Odell Beckham about 3 yards shy of the first down as B.J. Lowry. Media voted him one of the all Big Ten corners. Made the tackle.
Here comes the heavy artillery for LSU. 2 tight ends, 84 Logan Stokes, 85 Dylan Gordon. 2 tight ends, 2 backs. They continue to run the ball at one of these 2 tight ends away from where the overloaded Hawkeyes are. Probably going to run it down here.
Jennings on that toss. This one was red. The energy of Hill pushes it forward. It's 4th and short at midfield. You all know the pedigree of Les Miles, always willing to take a 4th down gamble. The way his team's running the ball.
He also knows his defense has pitched a shutout to this point, but I know he is thinking seriously about going for it. I didn't think he liked that nickname, the Mad Hatter, either.
He didn't enjoy that when you brought it up to him yesterday.
I told him I have had a lot worse nicknames than that over my coaching career.
Jamie Keene is out. See if they've got any tricks up their sleeve here. We'll leave him up there. And Keene, hard to catch kick, brought in at the 6 by Martin Manley, who has nowhere to go. Excellent coverage by Alfred Blue. All right, let's get an update back in the studio. Here's Robert again.
Mike, Steve Spurrier has a nickname, but it's the head ball coach. A lot of people think it's the old ball coach. No, no, no. It's head ball coach. And the HBC dials this up. Bruce Ellington to Connor Shaw, and it works. South Carolina up 13-7 on Wisconsin. Capital One Bowl ABC.
All right, Robert, thank you. You have that game on ABC over on ESPN2. You've got that game with Nebraska and Georgia in Jacksonville. TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl. So 3 choices of SEC Big Ten for you to sample here as the afternoon builds towards the Rose Bowl at 4:30 Eastern Time. Brett Musburger, Kirk Herbstreit standing by in Pasadena. Jake Rudock from his own end zone trying to get something going. And 3 yards of Damon Bullock. DJ Welter, season-long starter in the middle of this LSU defense.
Well, one of these receivers for Iowa has to make a play. They've got a lot of production from their tight ends, but they need to get some pop from their wideouts in this passing game. So far, they've been invisible, and LSU has dominated because of that. Only 1 pass to a wide receiver in this half.
Tried that one deep shot to Damon Powell earlier that was intercepted. Bullock on the run. Open field tackle. Tre'Davious White. We're seeing a freshman corner on each team. King for Iowa, White for LSU have good first halves.
Watch this left tackle, Mike. Brandon Scherf. 68. He'll knock you right into the turf. He's athletic to pull on these perimeter tosses. I think Scherf is going to be the next great Iowa Hawkeye lineman. Glad to see he's coming back for his senior year, but this kid can do it all as a left tackle.
Unfortunately, guys, fullback making clever there. Man, does Iowa need a third down conversion. Rudolph looking, going down. Welter, terrific drive for the junior out of Crowley, Louisiana. And it's another Iowa 3-and-out. Les Miles right out there to the official to get the clock stopped at 2:53 in his first half.
Good work by Les Miles managing the clock, giving his offense plenty of time.
LSU, their first of the half. Please set the clock to 2:57.
6 possessions, 4 3-and-outs. The work of Welter with a punt in 30 seconds. We have some high-scoring offenses, to say the least. Taj Boyd running Clemson's offense, Braxton Miller in Ohio State. That's the Discover Orange Bowl. As we go through these BCS games, it's 2 nights from tonight. Friday night, 8 Eastern time in South Florida. Clemson, Ohio State. Poor kick. Out of bounds, going to give LSU its best field position of the game as Cornbrath had to go off the side of his foot. The Tigers are going to take over the 36 after just a 27-yard punt by Connor Cornbrath from Bridgeport, West Virginia.
And you got to go back to Les Miles earlier in this quarter, punting the ball on 4th and 1, pinning Iowa deep in their territory. He knew his defense would get him the ball back, and they have plenty of time to run the ball and call any play they want in their offense. But so far, I'm impressed with Jennings. I'm really impressed with this game plan. They haven't turned it over, and they played smart to their strengths.
The punt was into the wind, but it's not a stiff wind, more of a breeze. Hill up the sideline, pushed out of bounds, minimal gain of about 2 for Jeremy Hill.
I expect Iowa to blitz, and this is the area of the field they blitz everybody and play all out jailbreak zero coverage. They have to get a stop here. They realize if they give up a field goal or more, this is a 3-possession game. Iowa's got to make something happen right now with their defense, or they're in trouble.
On the edge of field goal range already. Here's a run for Hill, cuts it up. He's over 100 yards now, 102 with that carry. It's the 7th time Hill's run for 100 yards this year. 11th on his career.
Here comes the amoeba package. I call it the amoeba because I don't know what it is. They bring in Spearman number 6, 34. Nate Meyer comes in, 52 Alston. They get as much speed on the field. I'd be shocked if Phil Parker doesn't dial up some serious heat to try to make a play for his Hawkeye defense.
Third and 6. They bring 5. Jennings gonna make something happen. Front sideline incomplete as the pressure was bearing down on him by Nate Meyer, his sophomore, Tabor, Iowa. And it's 4th down. You saw there on the edge of field goal range with the wind at their backs. From here, it'd be just shy of 50 yards. Colby Delahousie, the freshman walk-on kicker for LSU, has made one from 49 against Georgia, but they're going to choose instead to bring out Keene and punt formation.
Yeah, and if I'm Martin Manley, the returner for Iowa, I might get away from this ball if it's one of those awkward, tough-to-handle kicks.
Iowa does the getaway. Oh, that's a great play. It's where the ball is in college football, not the man. That's a terrific tip back by Ray Hamilton that'll pin this struggling Iowa offense inside the 5. Happy New Year, John Saunders. What do you have coming up here at half, pal?
Happy New Year to you. You got to get back to Ann Arbor for that classic back there. In the meantime, in football, Johnny Manziel. If you saw it last night, watch it again. Of course, the Rose Bowl coming up later. We'll break that one down. And Teddy Bridgewater has decided he's going to turn professional. We'll talk about his chances there. Mike, back to you and John, and Happy New Year.
Thank you to you, Mark May, Lou Holtz in the studio, pal. A healthy 2014 to all of you. This Iowa offense limited to 73 yards on 28 first-half plays. Rudock from 5. Gives it to Weissman. Loses 2. LSU is going to take a timeout.
Anthony Johnson, they call him the freak, and you can see why. That's a man with freakish size and athletic ability. It's time he starts making more plays. Highly touted high school player. I just haven't seen the production that I expected to see, but that time he shoots out of a cannon, disrupts his play, and makes it. That's what I want to see more of from the big man from New Orleans.
Jamarie Rasco, who's lining up next to Johnson. Rasco, the defensive end out of Shreveport, is injured on the play. And the athletic training staff of LSU out to look at his right leg. That doesn't look good. Junior from Shreveport not putting any weight on that. Already thin up front because of the Ego Ferguson situation. He's defensive tackle. With Ferguson not on the trip for medical reasons that the school did not disclose. And now Rasco over to the bench.
See 82 Hamilton blocking Rasco. Looks like he got his leg trapped in the pile. That did not look good at all. But I don't know if Rudock is struggling with the wet football, the conditions. I don't know that these Hawkeye receivers are separating from these LSU corners, but they have had no pass offense at all. It looks like they're going to run the ball again.
Rasco is replaced by Jordan Allen from West Monroe, Louisiana. And Weissman just hit hard.
Number 45, Deion Jones. That's about the 3rd time we've said his name. He flashes like lightning across the formations to get that play. They got a lot of guys who can run in LSU, don't they?
They do, and the question, John, coming in was, we're going to see the motivation to fire. You know, LSU's sights are set on the national championship game, SEC championship game, a BCS bowl, and when you don't get there, teams like this, you wonder, what are they going to bring to the table in a game like this? Will they use it as a springboard? Will they use it to show how good they could have been?
They will. One stat that really jumped at me is Les Miles is 40-2 against teams outside the SEC, and I've never heard of a stat quite like that, but he's on his way to 41-2, and that sums up his stay at LSU.
He's holding on to that one timeout. LSU ran as much clock back in 30 seconds. Stadium has hosted 2 Super Bowls, Super Bowl 35, Super Bowl 43, and it will host the College Football Playoff National Championship game, January of 2017. 3rd and 10, 3 runs, Weissman. And LSU might take him out of bounds, so his forward progress stopped inbounds. Les Miles uses his final timeout with 27 seconds left, as Rasco is taken off to the LSU locker room for further evaluation in this 14-0 one-sided game. And John, when we talked about this game and the setup, we talked about the scenarios Iowa could survive and could compete in this game. But LSU's athletes have dominated this first half.
They certainly have, and don't forget it was the botched punt return that really made this a 2-score game. Neither offense has done a lot today, although you have to credit LSU for adjusting their style behind their freshman quarterback.
It's such an important game, too, for LSU, for Les Miles. You can get some experience, some comfort with Jennings going through a preparation for a game against a good defense as a starter. That really changes the equation a bit going into your offseason, where there will be competition for that job, but Jennings will certainly have a leg up.
Look out for Beckham.
Corin Brath kicked it, trying to kick it away from Odell Beckham, who grabs it on the hop at the 41. And he's taken down by 2 Hawkeyes. Travis Perry was the first one there. 17 seconds, no timeouts, 42. And we talk about the transition from the pros to college, and with the offensive coordinator for LSU, Cam Cameron, one of the first things we talked about, because we got to see Cam a whole bunch doing our NFL games. One of the first things he said was, man, 2-minute drills in college football with no timeouts.
It's like a whole quarter.
He said all these first downs stop the clock. It's a very different world.
They got no timeouts here, though, Mike, and they need to get some type of a completion, a quick clock stoppage, and a field goal.
Trying to give Delahousie a shot. You see the green line to get in his field goal range. Here's a shot down the middle for Traven Doral. Incomplete.
It's a nice play by the young safety, Tanner Miller. Recognizing the trips formation and turning late to help on the deep ball. And this is Hail Mary time, I do believe, for LSU. And there's no doubt they have the men that can go down the field and get it.
Beckham is not out there for the moment. It is Landry and Doral. Jarvis Landry has huge hands. There's a jump ball. He can get up at 6'1" and bring it in. Number 80. Jennings sees the pressure and goes down. Sack back in his own territory. James Morris, the captain, whose pressure has been problematic, brings this first half to an end. Iowa's defense did play a pretty good first half, John, other than that opening drive.
They certainly did, and Iowa's got to find some offense at the break and find it quick.
Lisa Salters.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, down 2 touchdowns, but I heard you tell your guys, settle down, keep playing, you're playing well. How would you assess that first half?
Well, we're playing on defense, I think, playing pretty well there. Special teams have hurt us a little bit, certainly. We're going to have to find a way to get something going offensively.
How do you do that? How do you generate some offense?
We have to be who we are, so we got a little bit better job, better execution. They're playing us tough. We're going to have to find a couple ways to get some things open.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Mike.
Kirk Ferentz's defense 5-3 and outs in 7 LSU possessions. At the break, it's 14-0 for the Tigers. John Saunders, Mark May, Lou Holtz. Happy New Year. Guys, back in the studio.
Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Week.
And back in Tampa at the 2014 Outback Bowl here on this New Year's Day. 14-0 LSU leads the halftime entertainment. A couple of thousand high school musicians, dancers around the country from 18 different states here to entertain the crowd and to entertain you. Another great show at halftime of the Outback Bowl. Jim McVay, president, CEO of this bowl over the years, put together one of the finest bowls in the country. And one more time, everyone here able to celebrate and enjoy New Year's 2014. Getting set now for the second half. It's 14-0. Iowa trailing LSU. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, and Lisa Salters. So we wondered if LSU would come out with that motivation. What would be their drive? And they did. They've played a good game, but I thought we made the point before the half. LSU's defense should not be discounted. Iowa's defense got all the talk coming in, but an LSU defense has not given any breathing room for the Iowa offense in that first half.
Yeah, I've seen this defense play great at times this year against Johnny Football of Texas A&M. I saw him beat Auburn and play extremely well on defense, but Iowa is 1 for 9 on third down. They've got 20 yards rushing, and they've had no pass offense to speak of. They've got to find something that they can do and get on the scoreboard and make this a game.
Yeah, Kirk Ferentz told Lisa before halftime, we can't change. We have to do what we do, and that's run the ball effectively, and they have been ineffective doing it in the first half. Speaking of Lisa, go back down to the sidelines.
Hey, Michael, I just caught up with Les Miles coming out of the locker room, and I asked him how his true freshman 19-year-old quarterback is holding up, and he says, I think he's doing really well. He's not doing anything that's hurting us. I think he's really handling the situation well, and that's important. I asked him if they're going to stick with mostly running the ball, and he said, hey, look, we want to throw the football. We've got great receivers. We missed them on a couple of opportunities out there, but we definitely want to throw the ball. But, hey, first thing is we want to win the game, so we're going to take what they give us. Mike?
National champion in 07, Lisa. National Coach of the Year, 2011. Les Miles looking to get his 6th bowl win here this afternoon. Perhaps the last half he'll have Odell Beckham Jr. on the field. No decision yet from the junior from Newman High School in New Orleans. If he will go pro after this.
I'll tell you what's really been fun for me up here, Mike, is watching these coverage teams. If you like watching fast athletes, watch these LSU Tigers cover a kick.
James Wright, 82 on special teams. He made a great play to down the ball inside the 5. His wide receiver has been an outstanding special teams player for the Tigers all season. Had a terrific play earlier in that first half. James Hairston set to kick it off. Iowa did win the toss to defer their option here to the second half, so see if they can get anything going. And they cannot. No return. They'll bring it to the 25. If you were just tuning in, here is our marathon game track. Jennings, first start, first career touchdown run. Interception and a muff punt. The miscues, that muff punt the key, because gave LSU a short field. And Jeremy Hill, who's taken it over 100 yards with his performance in the first half, and now is the 2nd best single season rushing yardage total in LSU history. Popped it in. Sophomore Jake Rudock, Weston, Florida. 50 miles across the state. Of the 25, Mark Weissman running into the boundary to the right side. He'll gain 4 to the 29-yard line.
Well, Jamaria Rusco got hurt in the first half. He's back on the field now for LSU number 59. That time Iowa ran right at him. But it's good to see Rasco back in the game. He's one of the better pass rushers they have at LSU.
The way he came off the field, not putting any weight on his leg, didn't think he'd be back. It's great news for Rasco and the Tigers. Rudock in trouble, and Daniil Hunter will bring him down. 3rd sack of the year for the sophomore from Katy, Texas.
There's nowhere to throw the ball. The protection was good enough. You're going to see on the left side of your screen, Houston working against Brandon Scherf. That's a coverage sack as much as it is anything. Man-to-man coverage, and right now LSU is dominating the receiving corps of the Hawkeyes.
Not a team that made a lot of big gains this year. It's very shy on explosive plays again today. Rudock, 3rd down. Toss is complete. Jacob Hillier. There's a big gain. Just shy of midfield for the sophomore. Hillier, 10th catch of the year.
I'm not sure what Tre'Davious White is doing. It looks like he's expecting help to the inside, but there's nobody there. Just a simple under route, and it's non-contested for an easy first down. There's a blown coverage.
Gain of 23. Damon Bullock is the back. Rudock gives to Bullock. Working left, nowhere to go. Greg Loston, safety, with a loss of a couple of yards. I mentioned earlier Rudock, a very smart young man, this Iowa quarterback. Rudock may be a doc someday. Microbiology, pre-med major. At one point, Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator for this Iowa team, said this guy takes courses I can't spell the name of. Had to move around some practices even because of some of the scheduling conflicts with the academic load Rudock's taking in Iowa City. 2nd down. That's incomplete. Trying to throw to the back shoulder with Shumpert. At least has more on the quarterback.
Yeah, Mike, I was asking Rudock yesterday, like, what's the toughest part about juggling his academic schedule with football? And he said just time management. If I have to study for an hour, I have to study for an hour. I can't cut it short. There's sometimes, he says, he's not able to watch game film because he has to get ready for, say, an organic chemistry test. School is always first for him. His mom's a second-grade teacher. His dad's a lawyer. He said, if I don't make it to the next level, I'd like to, but that's okay. But my dream is also to become a pediatrician, and I'm fine with that.
Nice young man. 3rd and 11. He's going to get his. He throws here, but it's complete. It's Hillier again. And this is the deepest penetration for the Hawkeyes this afternoon. First down at the LSU 37.
What a great catch by Hillier. Working against the true freshman. Robinson on the outside. It's another under route. He catches the ball away from his body. And that's a great throw by Rudock because DJ Welter hit him hard as he delivered that football.
Back-to-back 3rd down conversions. Rudock to Hillier. Jordan Canzeri's the running back. Play action. Shot time. Let's see. LSU's got it covered, so Rudock takes off. And he'll just get about 2 yards. As nothing opened up downfield.
Take a look at Hillier. He's done some acrobatic flips on this possession after both catches. He's gone down face first. I used to say, don't ever leave your feet as a wide receiver for that reason right there. 2 nice plays by Hillier.
And 2 grabs against Northern Illinois and against Michigan. Big turning point win for the Hawkeyes in their season. They beat the Wolverines 24-21 and then just put the pedal down against Nebraska. This is Canzeri through the hole that time, and Canzeri going to be close to an Iowa first down. 27-yard line.
I like an old-fashioned fullback. This Adam Cox. Watch him run right into the blitzing, lost in the safety man off the right side, leading the way for Canzeri off tackle. This is an impressive drive by the Hawkeyes, using their 2-back set, little play action passing.
Now Mark Weissman, the captain, is in. 3rd and 1. Linebackers filling those gaps, waiting to come in, but Weissman breaks through. First down to the 21. That is just old school in a phone booth football. I'm coming, you're blocking, who wins?
They call this power football at Iowa. Double team, kick out. You're going to see the backside guard pull. But once again, 38, Cox with the kick out. And the big back, Wiseman. I call him Wiseman for Heisman. He's closing in on 1,000 yards, Mike. Big back.
1,700 in his career. Best looking Iowa offensive run of the afternoon. Here's Wiseman on a toss. Going to get back to the line. Barely. The speed. Anthony Johnson. We see, our typical week, folks, is we go to the NFL city for a Monday night game on Saturdays. We meet the home team. Then Saturday afternoon, we head back and usually pop on the TV, watch the SEC game. And you just see that sideline to sideline speed like Johnson and about 30 other defensive tackles in the SEC.
Well, that's what coaches are looking for. That's what general managers and scouts want to see Johnson do. Sideline to sideline. Make some plays outside these hashes. That was impressive.
2nd and long. Canzeri will pick up the pressure. Too tall. Had Fedorowicz, the tight end, open. C.J. Fedorowicz.
Well, Fedorowicz, #1 red zone target on a corner route. He's open. This protection is outstanding. He's got to make that throw. 2nd time Rudock has missed an open Hawkeye receiver. And it sets up a huge 3rd and 10.
They've converted 3 on this drive. 2 to Jacob Hillier. 17 is going to be at the top of the screen. This one's 3rd and long. 3rd and 11.
Here they come.
LSU bringing them on. Rudock got rid of it. Tall and caught by Fedorowicz, but a good job defensively to just knock the man down by Ricky Jefferson, the backup safety. And let's see what Iowa will do. 4th and about 6. Field goal time. Try to get on the board with Mike Meyer.
All out blitz. They force the ball to come out quickly, and Jefferson holds his coverage. Gutsy call, and it paid off for LSU.
Mike Meyer showed up in Iowa City 4 years ago, walk-on from Dubuque. He's now 2nd to Nate Kading all-time in points. 35. Wide right, no good. That was not what Iowa needed. Best looking drive of the day. Get into the red zone, but Meyer misses the short one off the right hash. You ready to go? Moving our game along as we get towards the Rose Bowl here. Coming up next on ESPN, first drive for LSU in the second half, and Jeremy Hill already over 100 yards with a gain of 3. LSU trying to complete a 10-win season. As we mentioned 2 years ago, losing the national championship game. This year, third in the SEC West with the losses to Georgia, Ole Miss, and Alabama. Second and 7 for the freshman Anthony Jennings. Taking a deep shot downfield. Jarvis Landry couldn't haul it in. Great coverage again. Desmond King, the freshman from Detroit.
This Desmond King has done it all today. He's made tackles in the open field, and here he's taking on one of the best receivers in college football. Landry has a step on him, but I call that playing the ball in the blind spot. You're holding your coverage, you got to turn and find the ball late in the down, and that time Desmond King does a great job. A lot of savvy for a freshman.
They really popped off the tape, John, against Ohio State, Michigan State. Two best teams in the league. Needed tackling on the edge, and King provided it. 3rd and 7, Iowa brings the pressure. Jennings throws, sideline for Beckham. Oh, down, one hand, hold it in. Outstanding play, Odell Beckham Jr. Wow.
Sorry for screaming, but put that on a highlight reel and show it. Double move, stutter go. Hard to do. Wow.
Great stuff. All good. 48-yard line after the gain of 29. Jennings up top, using these receivers now. Landry trying to go his one-hander. He couldn't bring it in. And again, King with him every step of the way. Speaking of good defensive backs, Dennard, outstanding DB for Michigan State. We had a lot of good defensive players on the field. Stanford and Michigan State, everybody's starting to settle in there in Pasadena. The Rose Bowl game for the 100th time. It comes your way next here on ESPN. Second and 10, Jeremy Hill to the left. Nowhere to go. James Morris is having a really good game for Iowa.
Jarvis Landry, he's about to make a catch. He made one against Arkansas. Watch this. If I'm a quarterback, I'm going to LSU and throwing to these receivers. I mean, you see that catch Beckham just made?
That's sick.
Jarvis Landry has made several of those this year. These two cats have a lot of talent.
Third and 10. Iowa brings 4, 7 in coverage. As Jennings throws to Tar, it's intercepted. Back the other way is Loudermilk with space. John Loudermilk inside the 30. Loudermilk inside the 10. Touchdown! Iowa back in it.
Ball game. Well, you want to throw the ball, get your receivers involved, and you're not playing to the strengths of your young quarterback. You overthrow the tight end in the middle of the field, and Loudermilk has just changed this game. Watch number 41, the tight end, on a square end pattern. Travis Dixon, ball's clearly overthrown, and that's a nice job of finishing a play. Look where their captain, James Morris, comes from, number 44, and the effort downfield blocking. That's something they practice in Iowa, finishing plays. You intercept the pass, you finish the play, and he picked up about 4 key blocks.
Gonna have a review here, John, or an official review. Take a look at it as he came down the sideline. Did he stay in bounds? It's Loudermilk here, and it looked all good there. Now the ball, as he comes across the goal line, See, he got rid of the ball early. We've seen that issue a couple of times. Even the start of the NFL season, very first game of the NFL season, we had that Loudermilk. And it's close. Now, all of those none of those looks are right down the line. Now, the ball is behind him. This is almost like offensive, where he's holding on to the ball and he's trying to see if he broke the plane. David Warden, the assistant coordinator of Big 12 officials, the replay coordinator for the Big 12 in the Mountain West, is up here in the booth with us. And David, one of the issues obviously is not a look right down the line here on this play.
Yeah, angles play a real factor into making a decision on a play like this. And then what does he actually lose possession, firm control of the ball? That's the other question the replay officials having to answer right now.
And does Jim Blackwood, the head replay official, have a definitive look at that one to uphold it or not? Loudermilk in Kensington, Ohio, and Carrollton High School, hoping that he doesn't have one for the blooper reel on day one of 2014. Then you have another issue on the back end of that, I would imagine, David, because you need to see, did somebody pick it up? Did you have a clear recovery? What happened to the ball after you got rid of it?
Yeah, and that all plays a big factor in making a decision. One, did he lose the ball before he crossed the goal line? And then what happened? And we have to be able to see that on video.
So multiple things. And Jim Blackwood, the head replay official, is looking at John. That's a fine way to start your year with a challenge. But you remember that opening NFL game of the season. We've seen it multiple times where players get to the goal line and they just start to celebrate. Don't hold on to the ball too long enough. Go ahead, David.
We've had 3 of these in the Big 12 this year.
This year alone in the conference?
This year alone, yes.
So, Dave, let's say we don't have a look at where the ball went or if anybody picked the ball up. What would happen? Well, here's the call, and we'll ask the second part of the question.
After further review, after the interception and before scoring, the Iowa player dropped the ball at the 1/2 yard line. There was no immediate recovery. Therefore, it will be Iowa's ball, first and goal from the 1/2 yard line.
That's what I was about to ask you in that situation. The worst case situation is if the ball goes out of bounds through the end zone.
Yep.
Here is where the ball landed. You take a look there in the end zone, and then nobody went to pick it up. Now, we saw Randall Cobb from the Green Bay Packers in the game against Chicago on Sunday. The NFL game, ball was laying there. He picked it up, ran it in for a touchdown. So if an Iowa player would have picked that up there, it would have been a touchdown.
It would have been a touchdown, that's correct.
But the ball was just left flying there and no one picked it up.
And since the official signaled touchdown and nobody picked it up, it goes back to where the ball was lost.
Well, what would have been a Loudermilk pick 6, instead it's first and goal from the 1. Let's see if Iowa can punch it in. And it's Weissman, and he is stopped. And man, Loudermilk is sitting over there begging his offense to bail him out after the blooper.
Well, they're trying to run off their left side. The strength of this Iowa offensive line, and penetration, stalemates, nothing.
Lost a yard there from the 2. Play action pass, looking for Fedorowicz, the tight end. LSU knows what we know. Fedorowicz is their red zone target, and the defensive end Rasco snuffed it out.
Well, the play action pass didn't fool anybody. It's man-to-man coverage. Nobody peeked into the backfield and was fooled. And if I'm Kirk Ferentz, I'm in 4-down territory. I wouldn't hesitate to give it to my big back again. And if I don't make it, I'll go for it on 4th down. But this is why you have a 245-pound tailback for these situations.
It is Weissman. Iowa looks to be in. Let's see. They run in to take a peek where Weissman ended up. Touchdown. And this one counts.
You sure, Mike?
Everybody go pat Loudermilk on the head. So now you can take a breath.
That was a good run by Weissman. He's been held under wraps most of the day, but that's the biggest play in this Outback Bowl so far. Makes it a one-score game.
Mike Meyer missed the short field goal a short time ago. Just to make it a 7-point game. He's made 121 consecutive extra points. Iowa back in it. Loudermilk can take a breath. Exhale. You're back in the game.
2014 Outback Bowl is brought to you by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado and Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind.
You say it weighs like 250? Yeah, he's a vegetarian.
Tampa, the part of the traditional week of the Outback Bowl. Teams get to go visit. A place that you take the family every once in a while.
That's a great park. You should try it, Mike.
Been open since 1959. Zach Mettenberger, the LSU quarterback who had his knee injured in that final quarter against Arkansas. We talked to Zach. We'll give you the background on his medical condition, the update coming up here as we go through this second half, but very tough to watch for Zach. Here is Odell Beckham Jr. Taking down to 23. Robert Flores, what do you have for us?
Well, Mike, check out this play between Wisconsin and South Carolina. Gamecocks going for it on 4th down. Bruce Ellington juggling, spinning, able to convert. Later scored on a touchdown pass, and they lead 20-17 on ABC.
And that game over on ABC on ESPN2. Nebraska leads by 5, closing seconds of the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl as they're taking on Georgia. 3 matchups of SEC Big Ten. They're all within 1 score here in the second half. All building towards the Rose Bowl coming up next year on ESPN. The 22, Alfred Blue hit hard, wouldn't go down. Gain of 5. James Morris was holding his leg.
Go back to Mettenberger, the quarterback on the sideline for LSU. He had one of the most prolific passing seasons in LSU history this year. It's not easy to replace him. And I'm eager to see what the young quarterback Jennings has inside of him now. You just made a critical mistake. Are you rattled? Can you stand in there, throw a couple strikes, and find a way to win this game?
Mettenberger's been very helpful to Jennings in preparation here for the bowl game. 2nd and 5. That toss on that power play. Blue could be right at the first down mark. Lisa, what did you hear from Zach Mettenberger as he gets ready for surgery tomorrow on that day?
That's right. That's right, Mike. The injury occurred a month ago, but he was telling us last night that they had to wait for the surgery because he tore the MCL off the bone, and they wanted to really let that heal and scar over first before going in and fixing the ACL. As for the timetable of when he'll be healthy, he told us about 4 months. Should be ready to go in time for the NFL draft and when minicamps start.
All right, at least 3rd and 1 for Jennings. It's Hill to the right. He's got the first down to the 38-yard line, so another good power run of 7 as Hill has 112 yards here in the afternoon.
His feet never stop. That's what the good backs do. They keep their feet alive in the hole. They have vision, and they finish behind their pads. And those are the 3 things that this young back can do. And I like the way he gains strength as the game unfolds. I'd like to see him really be a force down the stretch here.
Had 184 yards against Auburn, with the 57 against Mississippi State. Adding to his total here, got out of the Louis Trinca Passat arm tackle and gains about 7. Well, welcome to those of you who watched the game in Jacksonville as Nebraska gets 1 on the board for the Big Ten as Nebraska beat Georgia. Georgia team in a very similar position as LSU. They lost their senior quarterback, Aaron Murray, kid from right here in Tampa. We had this game a couple of years ago. If you're just tuning in, LSU dominated the first half. 14-0 lead Iowa's offense couldn't get anything going. Had a good drive, missed a field goal to start the third, but a long interception return led to the touchdown. Made it a one-score game. And now the Iowa defense, after Hill gains a yard, is going to face third and a short 2.
And you can see why LSU is such a dominant offense when it comes to third down, Mike. Almost 60% they converted. And I reiterate that because it is an uncommon statistic, but a lot of these third downs are 3 or less. That's advantage offense, especially with a quarterback like Jennings, who's a threat to run it as well as throw it. 9 for 15 today with a true freshman at quarterback. It's impressive.
That's the play clock. Off in time. It'll be play action, and the throw's complete. And the first down to Connor Neighbors. The fullback got through the tackle of Desmond King. This drive stays alive late third quarter.
That's what happens. You bang the ball off the left side behind Lyle Collins repeatedly. Then you throw a play action pass. You slip the fullback into the flat and you get another first down. Good play calling by Cam Cameron.
LSU from midfield. Toss to the right. Big hit on Terrence McGee. Robert Flores back in the studio. How'd that Nebraska game end up?
Well, here's how it ended up. Georgia going for it on 4th down. Hudson Mason to Arthur Lynch, who can't hang on. And Nebraska holding off Georgia on the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl. 24-19 Huskers.
That's a nice end to the Nebraska season, John. Very embarrassing home loss Thanksgiving Friday to this Iowa team, 38-17. Two teams that were desperate for a win and a little postseason momentum in that one. Contact by Lewis. Trinka Passat behind the line of scrimmage.
I like Trinka Passat. I like his name, too. I've been saying it all week. Gets penetration. He disrupts the blocking scheme, and you're going to see number 44 clean up on it. But Trinka Passat penetrate. And James, my number 44 linebacker, he's done an excellent job today. James Morris, the team captain of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
3rd and 10. Let's see what Jennings does. The last throw to the middle of the field was picked off. He'll roll the pocket right. Didn't see the pressure. Sacked by Dominic Alves.
Dominic Alves is healthy again. He's had some injury problems. He's back in the lineup today. It's a 3-man rush. You're going to see Alves 79 just continue to push the pocket. And head coach Kirk Ferentz likes what he sees from his Hawkeyes in the second half. I don't know what he said, but whatever it was, it worked.
Closing seconds, third quarter. To get away punt, as it was not hit cleanly. And it'll be out of bounds at the 23-yard line on the kick by Keene. 9 seconds left, third quarter. Iowa offense that had only 73 yards at halftime has come up with about 60 here in this third quarter, and the big interception by Loudermilk to give them a chance. Now down 7 with the ball. End of the quarter, Jake Rudock hit as he throws. That pass is incomplete. Iowa fans looking for a flag, but Don Shumpert doesn't earn one.
Ricky Jefferson with an excellent read. Drove on the ball, almost got there for the interception.
We saw that hit that Rudock took. It stung him, to say the least. 3 seconds left. C.J. Beathard is the backup quarterback. He's a redshirt freshman, grandson of NFL general manager Bobby Beathard, who built a couple of Super Bowl champions in Washington. Many playoff teams Bobby Beathard built. C.J.'s the backup. Rudock limping significantly as he brings it to Weissman, and the quarter comes to an end, and the athletic training staff for Iowa sees that. They're going to take a peek at the quarterback as he limps over. At the end of this third quarter, Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters. Lisa's going to check on Jake Rudock, who has been bothered by knee problems. The Wisconsin game and the Nebraska game this year. Took a clean hit 2 plays ago, and it was in that Wisconsin game Rudock had to come out and C.J. Beathard came in. And Beathard, the redshirt freshman from Franklin, Tennessee, has to enter here in the fourth quarter. And he does so on 3rd and 8. The LSU welcomes him with pressure, and Beathard throws, and the receiver slipped. Cavante Martin-Manley on the cut. It's incomplete, and it's 4th down.
That's a shame. I think Manley's going to have a chance to play that ball. He slipped earlier in the game fielding a punt. That time he went down running to the corner, and the ball falls incomplete. Iowa's got to be careful with Beckham in this situation. He's a dangerous return man too, Mike.
Odell Beckham Jr. set for the punt from Connor Cornbrath, who's trying to kick it away, but that's not a lot of hang time. Beckham made 2 miss. Beckham couldn't make the 3rd man miss. Gets into Iowa territory. Tackled by Tanner Miller at the 49.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Wherever you are watching, hope you're enjoying the start of this new year, 2014. Jake Rudock starting it much the way 2013 ended, dealing with a little bit of discomfort. A knee injury that knocked him out of 2 games, including the Nebraska game, their last game. As he gets on the bike, John, we're going to have to watch this LSU offense and see if they can get back after a poor 3rd quarter. It up a bit more with the true freshman, Anthony Jennings. Jennings pressured, and he'll be brought down, thrown down by Christian Kirksey, the senior captain from St. Louis.
I'm trying to tell you, these 3 linebackers are really something at Iowa. Hitchens, Morris, and Kirksey. Watch him finish this play. He keeps contained. He pushes Neighbors out of the way and hangs on for dear life, and that's a huge sack for this Iowa defense. What a play by Kirksey.
Youngest of 7 children. Kirk Ferentz says talent as he's had in a long time. That's the entire group too. Morris, Hitchens as well. You see all 3 of them. They've been in the play throughout the day. Play clock at 3 as Jennings hands up the middle. It is Jeremy Hill only going to gain 3 in this Iowa defense, and the Iowa fans.
That's how they win games here, Mike. Their defense sets the tone. They hang around. They just won't go away, and it starts with these 3 linebackers. 44 Morris stuffs the ball carrier, and Hitchens cleans up. And here comes that sub package as fast as Iowa can get with this group they have on the field right now. They want to take care of Jennings if he scrambles. Let's see if they blitz or play it conservative. But they will disguise it. Look at these Hawkeyes hovering around.
See which way Cam Cameron goes. Will he be safe and conservative with his freshman quarterback? Overload to the quarterback's right. Jennings got protected, and his pass is incomplete on the sideline. Beckham came up with the ball. The officials said he didn't have it. The line judge had to look in. That's a 3 and out with good field position for this Iowa defense.
Desmond King continues to make plays, Mike. I've seen him cover Landry. That time it was Beckham. Disappointing drive that time by LSU. They had a chance to close the door, and doesn't look like Rudock will be back, Mike.
Yeah, it's disappointing for the sophomore from Weston, Florida. Starting quarterback. Jamie Keene kicks a tough ball to catch. Iowa got close to him that time. Martin-Manley's going to let it bounce. It hits the face mask of an LSU player as it was initially touched, but no control, so it's a touchback. And despite Jalen Collins trying to pull it in, it'll come to the 20. Rudock done for the moment. It's in the hands of the backup quarterback, Beathard. Backup quarterback C.J. Beathard, the redshirt freshman from Franklin, Tennessee. Dad Casey's a songwriter. Now his son here on New Year's Day is the Iowa quarterback.
Sees the blitz coming off his right side. Let's see what play.
He's going to have to burn a timeout here as he tried to adjust it. And he'll take the timeout. So we'll step out quickly here. Opening Iowa drive of this fourth quarter.
The 2014 Outback Bowl is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy, and the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase.
New Year's Eve parade, Ybor City. Floats, marching bands, high schools, colleges, lots of local folks. One of the great times. The Outback Bowl has become 28th playing of this game. 19th year, the folks at Outback with the title sponsor. Great title sponsor. Jordan Canzeri's the back. Beathard gives to him, and there goes Canzeri. 13 first down yards to the 33.
That's his Kirk Ferentz offense. It's zone blocking at the point of attack and creative blocking on the backside. That time they slid the fullback across the formation. Nice work up front.
Nearly double the longest run of the day for Iowa. They had a 7-yard run by Weissman earlier. One-time Canzeri. It's a nice play by Jamari Arasco, who we saw injured in the first half. He comes back after the gain of 1. Speaking of injuries, John, Jalen Mills, they were working on the left arm of the starting safety today. He usually plays corner, but they needed him for help back in that safety spot. Mills came back during the timeout.
Safety has been an evolving door at LSU this year. Mills played corner all year. They've converted him to safety because of the injuries, and now he's hurt.
9, Beathard to the tight end, Jake Dusey. Dusey's got a first down at the 42-yard. Let's see that mark is. It may be a little bit shy of it. As they mark it, look, it's going to be 3rd and short. We remind you that tomorrow night, the Bowl Championship Series continues with the All-State Sugar Bowl. Oklahoma and their struggles in BCS games. 3-6 under Bob Stoops, taking on Alabama, number 3 in the country. It's tomorrow on ESPN. Beathard with the sneak and the keep, but we had whistles first from the head linesman and the line judge from that LSU bench.
Defensive team was not given an opportunity to match up. We'll replay the down.
The Iowa side, Kirk Ferentz very disappointed. Did they sub? That's a question. You get time to match subs if you sub. And the Iowa sideline furious. I'm sure they're saying we didn't sub, we didn't change personnel.
I don't blame Kirk Ferentz at all. That is a terrible call.
Keeping anyway, and that's stacked up. And what happened there? Was that the 3rd down play run? See the officials running in to mark the ball. They're going to mark it right at the spot. And we did hear a whistle. And now get a measurement. And that looks to be short. You had to get
I don't know if that play is even going to count, Mike. Still 3rd down on the marker.
We're going to come down. Remember, we had one of the worst measurements in the history of the sport last year here. South Carolina, Michigan, when they awarded a first down. No. Let's see. No, it should be 4th down. He pointed the wrong way. It should be 4th down. Yeah, it's not first down LSU. It's 4th down now. So that last play counted. The referee forgot that last play that was run was whistled dead. And it's going to be 4th and 1 now. Let's see what Kirk Ferentz does here.
This is one of the strangest short yardage situations.
And you can read Kirk Ferentz's lips, John. I'm sorry. I want to go back to the play before. You have to give the opponent a chance to substitute only if you substitute. And Iowa feels, and there were 6 coaches in their sideline who lost their head because they were sure that they didn't sub. And I know the offensive team is going to know if they subbed or not. Let's bring in David Warden, our assistant coordinator, Big 12 officials up here in the booth. David, am I right on that rule?
Yes, if substitutions by the offense, defense is given time to match up.
A reviewable situation?
No.
Thank you, David. So on 4th and 1, it will be a punt, and Beckham's going to let it go, and Iowa kills it back inside the 5. With penalty marker down back at the line of scrimmage. Remember, it was 4th and 1. We have a penalty thrown by the head linesman on the LSU bench side at the line of scrimmage. Now, are they counting players here? Meantime, the injured quarterback for Iowa, Rudock, is coming back on the field. What do we have?
Illegal substitution on the defense.
Oh, man.
5-yard penalty.
I'll tell you what.
First down.
Well,
I wish these players would decide this game. Illegal substitution.
All right, so here's the illegal substitution there. It's the departure at the top. And it's a first down. As I said last year, right around this time, as Rudock comes back around the Clowney play, South Carolina deserves to have it, and they do. Iowa deserves to have it, and they do. Because I think they got jobbed on that substitution deal from the 47. Just double pass.
Got him, trick play.
And it's thrown by Martin Manley, and it's broken up on a terrific play coming over by Loston, the safety. The Iowa fans want a flag on him.
Great recovery by Loston. Bullock peels out of the backfield, and let's see for yourself if this is a legal hit. Looks like all shoulder to me, but it is vicious.
What about the timing for pass interference? Almost simultaneous. Backup Rudock, the starter Rudock continues to warm up on the sideline. The backup Beathard stays in. What's going to happen on this play? Beathard throws, it's caught by the tight end. 2 yards shy of the first down is C.J. Fedorowicz with 10:48 left in this fourth quarter.
All starts with blitz pickup. Jordan Canzeri, the backup running back, picks up a safety blitz. LSU blew another coverage again that time, Mike. Number 87, Jake Doozy, was wide open on the crossing route. And they've gone back to the big back. I'd be surprised if it's not Weissman off the right side.
3rd and 2. There he goes to the right side. LSU was ready for it. Lamine Barrow and Loston meet
LSU
the running
heard
back.
me, Mike. Excuse me. Van Sloten, the team captain at right tackle. They run right behind him in critical short yardage situations, and Barrow stuffs it.
Injured LSU player. There's Loston, who went low, along with Barrow, and Loston shaken up. So the senior from Texas, who's going to play in the Senior Bowl, getting medical attention. And it would be 4th down and about 3 for Iowa here with 10:06 to go.
Loston's a big loss. He's started 23 games for him. He's really been a factor near the line of scrimmage today.
The athletic training staff will continue their evaluation, and we'll step out. Order that one of the LSU safeties has come off the field with injury. Craig Loston, honorable mention all SEC, looking at his shoulder. Fake punt by Iowa on 4th and 3. Weissman. The mark is going to be short. At the 44, they needed to get just to the front of the 43. They're going to measure, but I think that mark is going to come up about a foot short.
Well, Weissman snuck in as the up back on the punt team, and there's no question this is short.
And they're going to bring out the chains anyway. You see the unofficial yellow line. But LSU's offense will have it here as Kirk Ferentz. Off the Les Miles play sheet. A little trickery in the punt game on 4th and 3. And well short. So LSU will take over. And it's been an outstanding game by Anthony Johnson, the junior out of Walker High School in New Orleans.
Take a look at the fake. They're just going to snap it to the Outback, and he's going to power off the right side. You see 37, Loudermilk with the kick out block, and you have to credit LSU. Number 58, Taj Jones, the ex-starting linebacker, contributing a huge play in special team for LSU.
Jones injured his hamstring, lost his starting job. Quan Alexander stepped in, but Jones, the senior, comes up with the big stop. So now the freshman Anthony Jennings pitched it back to Hill on the edge. Only a couple of yards there. We remind you these BCS games start with the Rose Bowl next on ESPN. It continues Friday with Clemson, Taj Boyd, and Braxton Miller's high-powered Ohio State offense. It'll be in the South Florida nighttime, 8 Eastern, for the Discover Orange Bowl Friday night on ESPN. Tostitos Fiesta Bowl tonight. UCF and Baylor make their BCS debuts. And, of course, Michigan State, Stanford coming up in the Rose Bowl next. 2nd and 8. Hill to the right. Bring up 3rd and 6. 3rd and 5, big part.
Just watch his team captain, middle linebacker, number 44, James Morris. He's going to diagnose the formation. Here they come with the amoeba package. The subbing Iowa Hawkeyes get their speed group on the field. But Morris will alert them what stunt to run. He'll give them a couple key reminders. This young man is really something.
3rd and 5 for Jennings. Iowa brings 3. Jennings has time. Now he's flushed, looking downfield, and it is incomplete. Tried Landry along the sideline late. That time Iowa, John, they dropped 8 in coverage, and there was nowhere for Jennings to go with it.
Well, it's that package they continue to use in obvious passing situations. They bring people, they drop people. You don't know who's what. That time, you're right, it's a 3-man rush. It's a stunt. You have all day to throw, and nobody open. And it's the second time LSU has squandered good field position.
Flag down here for illegal procedure, I believe, on LSU. We'll push them back 5.
False start. Number 82 offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
James Wright, who made that very good special teams play in the first half. Senior who's exceeded everyone's expectations with what he's been able to do on teams.
Take a look at Rudock. He's working with the trainer down there, trying to fight himself back into this game. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him one more time, Mike.
Keen kicking into the wind. Martin Manley lets it go, and it just goes over the goal line. Great hustle, but LSU unable to pull it in. Let's see. Rudock tries to work out that knee. At the top of the hour here means we're just a half hour away from sending you to Pasadena. Rose Bowl pregame, and then kickoff coming up with Stanford and Michigan State as the Bowl Championship Series. The final act of the BCS begins. C.J. Beathard still in at quarterback, the backup for the injured Rudock. Iowa taking over at its own 20-yard line. And Kanziri to the left. A nice 13-yard run to start the last drive. This one a gain of 4.
Good to see Craig Loston back in the game for LSU, number 6. He went out earlier, and he's been a big part of this LSU defense today. They need him to finish.
And Jalen Mills playing the safety spots. Beathard, 2nd and 6. Kanziri again. Yard and a half shy of the first down as we approach the halfway point of this 4th quarter, and we are with you the rest of the way without commercial interruption as we find a winner of this 21st meeting between the SEC and the Big Ten in the Outback Bowl. It's SEC 12, Big Ten 8.
Short yardage situations have been difficult for Iowa today. They were stuffed the last time around. They ran the ball off the right side. Let's see if they run behind their all Big Ten left tackle this time.
Weissman is the back. It's a fake to hit. Beathard will keep it. First down and more. At the 40-yard line, C.J. Beathard with the run.
Good call. Motion a fullback across, and you slide him into the flat and on a bootleg. Beathard fakes the toss. He's got the fullback open, but he does the smart thing. Keep the ball, get the first down yourself. LSU lucky that play wasn't called on number 52, Kendall Beckwith, near the sideline. Big first down.
Inside of 7. From the 40, Beathard.
Oh, got him.
Wide open, Jake Doozy, the tight end. Doozy to the 25. Pickup of 35. Hawkeyes on the move.
Same play he scored on against Ohio State where he went 80 yards. He and Fedorowicz working together on the short side of the field, and no one covered him.
Iowa jumps the ball. They'll run another play quick with Weissman to the right. Gains 7 into the red zone.
You wonder how much gas is left in Anthony Johnson's tank. He's down now on one knee. I hope he's not hurt. But without Ego Ferguson, and now with Johnson down, LSU is depleted at defensive tackle. And I think Iowa knows it.
Iowa fans don't think that Johnson is injured. They started booing, but you can never be sure. And player safety involved. You always want to see a guy, if he's feeling any discomfort, take a moment. An Iowa offensive line cheering their fans on in the back and encouraging them to be excited about their play.
I'll take a look at number 90.
There's Johnson, who was trailing the play.
Could be a cramp. It's what it usually is, Mike.
While they check Johnson, let's check in with Robert Flores for an update.
All right, Mike, right now in the Capital One Bowl on ABC, Wisconsin and South Carolina. Wisconsin's Kenzel Doe, 91 yards, longest kickoff return in Wisconsin Bowl history. Kenzel Doe, so much determination, Doe. However, South Carolina answers Connor Shaw. They reviewed it, but ruled a touchdown. Gamecocks up 34-24, late fourth quarter on ABC.
All right, Robert, thank you. As you look at Johnson slowly walking off, Big Ten looking for bowl victories. Syracuse beat Minnesota. Kansas State beat Michigan. Earlier today, Nebraska got the first win for the conference up in Jacksonville. But Johnson makes his way off slowly. John mentioned Ego Ferguson, the other starting defensive tackle, not here. Medical reasons. So Christian LeCouture and Quentin Thomas on that inside. See if Iowa runs inside.
It's man-to-man up top. I'm sure Beathard is tempted.
It's going to give to Weissman. Cut it back in the middle. Weissman going to be stopped just shy of that first down. Good strength by DJ Welter and Jalen Mills to make the stop.
Third quarterback sneak on a quick count here. They're trying to rush this before LSU can get set.
He does sub quickly. It's Beathard running to the left side. And that mark is short of the 15. So that time LSU did try to sub, got their subs in. Iowa did not exchange players. And the power behind Scherf, the first team all Big Ten left tackle, didn't gain much. And another LSU player is down. That's Lamine Barrow.
Well, we've seen Jalen Mills go down and come back. I've seen Loston, their safety, go down and come back. It looks like Johnson is going to be able to come back, and now it's Barrow. But remember, LSU has not played very many Tigers in this game, but I'm more interested in the spot now, Mike. Did Beathard pick up that first down?
Did not look like he did. The left foot of the head linesman is short of the 15, which is the first down mark.
Take a look at Barrow, number 18, jumping. Looks like he got hit in the headgear. Fifth-year senior. Really a great story at LSU, and he's wearing that number for a good reason, Mike.
Yeah, at number 18, you go back to Matt Mock, the championship team quarterback. You get success on the field and off the field. Show your selflessness like Mock did, and then passed it on to Jacob Hester. And based on your character, you overcome adversity, you wear that jersey. And Barrow told us yesterday the great pride he has in wearing it. Here are the Iowa fans booing earlier, but you could tell by that replay the way he got hit. That's why you always have to be careful. You can't just assume teams are faking injuries. Oftentimes in those piles, contact like that, whether they were going down on purpose to slow the tempo earlier or not, that one looked legit. Good to see Barrow up and okay. Let's see what Kirk Ferentz is going to do on 4th and a half yard.
Well, he ran a bootleg the last time. I've seen quarterback sneaks. Number 45, Weissman, his heavy gun is back at tailback. He was stuffed earlier. Biggest call of the game right here for Iowa.
They'll go for it on 4th and 1, and they'll boot again. It's Beathard rolling and throwing, and it's intercepted by Lawson. Lawson's got a lot of room. Couldn't dance down the sideline. Knocked out of bounds at the 30. 2 flags down on the return.
Connor Buffelli, one of the guards for Iowa, shaken up on the return. I think there's going to be a clip against LSU, but the Bengal Tigers played that boot perfectly.
Personal foul, block below the waist. LSU pending to be enforced half the distance for the goal. First down.
Here's the pick by Lawson, 3rd of the year, 7th of the season. Deion Jones was chasing Beathard.
He chased him down, and there's Lawson, who was injured earlier in the game, making an outstanding interception. And there's the block below the waist by Jalen Mills. And now it's up to the Iowa defense to give their offense one more chance. And how conservative can LSU be in this field position with their young quarterback? Since the interception by Loudermilk, we have not seen Jennings do much throwing the ball at all.
First career start. Those of you just joining us are Anthony Jennings. He had played only 42 snaps before today. Jeremy Hill, who had a big run on the first play of the game that set up a run-only touchdown drive. Takes it to the 10. Under 5 minutes. Iowa can stop it twice.
Zach Mettenberg has really gone out of his way to help Jennings throughout these bowl practices. I really compliment him. Postponing that surgery. Say what you want. He wanted to be a part of his final game as an LSU Tiger. Go down leading his team any way he can. I credit him for that.
2nd and 8. Hill up the middle, big first down and more. Jeremy Hill to the 38-yard line. Pick up at 28.
That's what the great backs do, Mike. They get stronger as the game goes on. Pick and choose runner. That time he sees his fullback neighbors block and he reacts suddenly to the outside, and you see that burst of speed that not many 235-pound backs have. Nice job of blocking up front by the LSU line, and really good north-south running.
And John Hill's up to 159, second best of the year. Record in this bowl game, Terrell Fletcher, Wisconsin, at 241. Back in the 95 Outback. LSU fans letting their presence be known. And so is Hill. Again into the secondary. This is like the opening drive of the game. Hill with a gain of 20 after 28 to play before.
And now he's coming off the field. He sees his coaches point to him, get back in there, but he is running hot right off the right side. You see Neighbors again with a great block against Kitchens, and he can make you miss. He's got elusiveness to make you miss in one-on-one situations, and he is a powerful back.
He's just catching his breath on the sideline. Those 2 runs of 48 yards, 28 and 20. Taking Hill up to 179.
Terrence McGee, the new tailback, is totally different kind of runner.
The right side of that line's treated everybody well. A couple of yards there. Kirk Ferentz very close to that window. We're going to have to use those timeouts. He only has 2. So often coaches will wait until that second, third down. Hopefully you get a team in 3rd and long and they help you out. Tumbling clock will be under 2.5 for the next one.
Both of these tight ends, Dylan Gordon, 85, 84. Logan Stokes have done a nice job blocking today. And all Jennings does is pick a side away from the down safety and run the ball.
Good job by Jennings, milking every second of the clock. Send it right back to McGee. Let's see if Iowa will take that timeout here. They do at 2:12 before 3rd down. Low-scoring game, 14-7. Well, of course, we build towards Monday night. And Jameis Winston, the Heisman winner, against Trey Mason. Auburn, team that LSU defeated. The Vizio BCS National Championship game, Monday, January 6th on ESPN. Of course, we have a variety of different options of coverage for you on the family of networks. Todd Blackledge and I will be out in Pasadena calling on ESPN Radio. It'll be a tremendous game, that magical Auburn season, other than their game against LSU. It'll be great to see if they can close it out against that high-powered Florida attack.
Yeah, both those teams are going to be quick, so you guys are going to have to be quick with your broadcast. You're going to have to do one of your best jobs ever, Mike.
Okay, well, I won't be saddled with you, so that'll be all right. You know, we've come here. It's our 4th year now, this bowl game. Think about it, we saw Joe Paterno for Penn State go up against Florida and Urban Meyer's farewell. Then we had that tremendous triple overtime Michigan State-Georgia game. Kirk Cousins and those seniors finally got a bowl win. Michigan State's going to try to get another bowl win against Stanford next year on ESPN at the Rose Bowl. And then last year we had that Clowney hit, one of the plays of the year on the first day of the year. And a wild finish with Michigan and South Carolina. And yet again, another tight Outback Bowl coming down to the final minutes.
Well, do you hand the ball to Jeremy Mills one more time, or do you let your young quarterback have one shot with Beckham Jr. at the bottom of the screen?
3rd and 6. They will run it. It is Hill to the right. Big first down. Hill to the 20. Hill to the 10. The MVP is in the end zone for LSU. Touchdown, Tigers.
That's a big-time run by Jeremy Hill. Patience. Pow. Touchdown, LSU. He goes off to the sideline. He gets a couple plays to catch his breath. He comes back into the lineup, and he wins the Outback Bowl for LSU. What a performance by Jeremy Hill.
216 yards. It's been 9+ years since an LSU Tigers had that in the game. Ali Broussard had 250 against Ole Miss back to Saturday before Thanksgiving in 2004. But Jeremy Hill, the sophomore from Baton Rouge, first-team running back in the conference this year, taking it close to 1,400 yards for the season. Extra point added. What a drive that was when they needed it, on the ground and a lot of Hill.
Double team, you pull the backside guard, and Jeremy Hill with a stiff arm, he shows it all right there. Vision, patience, speed, and elusiveness. And I love the stamina. Les Miles is 41-2 against teams from outside the SEC. That's 95 wins in 9 years. And if they could just keep this group together, they'll contend for all of it next year, Mike.
Well, your Capital One player of the game, Hill, who goes over 1,400 yards for the season, 1,401 with his rushing total today, and the career high 216. And John, like you said, guys who get better as the game goes on. To close that drive, he had 3 rushes of 20 yards or more. starting on the right side, and that last one, he made 3 guys miss.
And that's the same play I talked about earlier, Mike. That's the play that Wisconsin hurt Iowa with earlier in the season. And twice, Jeremy Mills scored on that play. It's a credit to the preparation of LSU and these players' ability to put something new in and execute it at a high level. And it helps when you have a great back.
At 216 total is 7th all-time in LSU history, up on Charles Alexander in 1977. So down 14, Iowa in desperate need of a big play. Jordan Cotton trying to get one. Oh, look at this! Hey, there goes Cotton! 30, 20, 10, getting in! No, out of bounds at the 5, but the Hawkeyes are still alive.
That's no quit at these Hawkeyes. What an effort.
96 on a return. And I think that right foot just hit the paint. Yep.
Yeah, some really good blocking down the field. And Iowa's going to have to score quickly here, obviously. And with the ball on the right hash, and number 22 in the game, I expect Damon Powell to see the ball creatively in some way, shape or form. He is a guy that they like to throw quick screens to, bubble screens, you name it. Here he is at the top of the screen.
C.J. Beathard in. After the longest kickoff return in Outback Bowl history, can Iowa make it 6? Beathard, hand as he threw, empty hand came through. That's a live ball, and LSU is on it. Tigers recover.
Ruling on the field is fumble. First down LSU.
Jamarie Rasco the hit. And Quentin Thomas on it.
Rasco on a stunt. We'll get a replay to see if it is incomplete. That's what Kirk Ferentz is hoping. See Rasco 59.
A couple of different things there. Was it a forward pass? Let's talk it through with our expert here, David Warden, the assistant coordinator, Big 12 officials. David, as replay is watching this, what are the things they're identifying here?
Well, they're trying to determine if he had control of the ball and when it was lost, and if it was lost before the pass started. And that's his hand arm going forward. And does he have control when when the ball comes out? So you're looking, we sometimes refer to these types of things as empty hands, meaning his hand doesn't have control of the ball. The hand comes forward, but in reality it's empty. Even maybe if the ball's touching it slightly, there's no control.
Once it gets bumped off that hand, there's some space there, then in essence that hand becomes empty.
Empty, that's correct.
I think it's a fumble, Mike, and you have to really credit the front 4 of LSU. A lot of these men have played almost every snap down the stretch, and Rasco saves his best for last.
Replay official has made the determination upstairs, and Greg Burks will tell us what it is.
For the review, it was an incomplete pass. 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Please put 1:46 on the clock.
Now that's a shocking overturn there, but it gives Iowa life. And again, Fedorowicz, 86, 6 red zone touchdowns, the big tight end, and it'll be a check with me. I know they want to throw a quick screen to the top of the screen to Damon Powell if the numbers present themselves.
And the backup quarterback, Beathard, in for the injured Rudock. Watching, going to the corner. It's caught for the touchdown by Cavante Martin Manley. So the overturn on the incomplete pass fumble call gives Iowa life, and the Hawkeyes still in it with 1:42 to go.
What a beautiful throw by Beathard, and just a simple corner route. And Cavante Martin Manley wins. They beat the true freshman, Rashard Robinson.
Mike Meyer to add the extra point, make it a 7-point game. Mike Meyer, 122 in a row. 21-14. So 96 yards on the kickoff return. Remember that other Iowa touchdown set up by the 71-yard interception return in the first half.
Nice throw in a tight window by Beathard, and Devontae Martin Manley, the leading receiver for Iowa, makes the play. And how about that reaction
from Jordan Cotton, the man who brought the kickoff back? That Outback Bowl record, 96 yards, and now here we are to talk hands team and onside kick at 1:42 left.
Well, it's an obvious onside kick situation. You see both special teams coaches talking strategy. I'd be surprised if LSU doesn't use a timeout after they read the deployment of the Hawkeyes onside kick team. It'll be a check with me onside kick. He'll count the numbers here. He'll count them at the top. He could even kick it in the middle of the field and recover it himself. But I'd be surprised if LSU might even take a timeout to make sure they like what they have.
Many years ago, remember Iowa had this situation against Florida in this game. You have Beckham and Landry, the receivers who are waiting, the hands guys on this side. Here's the bounce, and it's caught as it was a slip by Connor Neighbors, the fullback, and his heart had to skip a beat as he lost his footing, but the ball didn't take that skip up, and Neighbors able to secure it with 1:42 and only one Iowa timeout left. Probably not as simple as taking 3 knees, but just a couple of seconds need to be run off by Iowa on a play or two to close this one out.
That's what you do. You put your most reliable player, Jarvis Landry, deep behind the quarterback just in case there's a bad snap. Clearly, Les Miles is going to take a knee.
You can take knees. You'd be close to fine here time-wise as the clock stops the timeout at 1:39. And the clock keeps running. I think Iowa took their timeout. They're pointing up the clock. Perhaps they didn't take their timeout. Yeah, Kirk Ferentz is standing there. 3 Iowa coaches pointing over to the clock on the right. Needless to say, LSU will get to 10-3. And Iowa will close its season at 8-5. Assuming nothing crazy happens. That's what they had needed. They needed to kill a couple of seconds time-wise, and now Kirk Ferentz will take the timeout. They need to burn. You couldn't just take 4 quick knees and end the game when they have 1 timeout left. Or 3 quick knees, excuse me. They just need to burn a few seconds, and now they should be in a good spot with no timeouts left. Like the direction the Iowa program is going, John, after the hiccup of last year, 4-8, 8 wins. The Big Ten is not at the zenith of its success or strong programs. So it's a good opportunity for Iowa perhaps to make another run in the conference over the next couple of years if they can build off of this year.
I think so. They're going to lose 3 seniors on offense. They will have to replace those 3 linebackers, and that'll be hard to do. But Kirk Ferentz, excellent coach, I'm sure he has a plan.
Now be careful you don't take a penalty here that would stop the clock on you in any way, shape, or form. Waiting to get Les Miles to the Gatorade. I'd just make sure that the game ends properly. Again, as I was telling you, time-wise, LSU needed to let a few seconds run off because they couldn't just run it out and get to 0-0 without another snap. As you see, there's a 6.5-second difference in the game and the play clock as we hit 4th down.
Well, it's Martin Manley deep. I've seen him take 2 back against Western Michigan in 1 game, and
Les Miles telling his guys, no, don't snap it. Les Miles better take time out. Jeez, oh, Pete. Oh, my goodness. I mean, honestly, how do people mess up clock situations at the end of a game? It's
their first
just
half,
ridiculous. Yeah, they're all worried about it. Don't snap. That's Phillip Rivers' brother, Stevens, the backup quarterback. Those, because if they would have snapped, LSU would have had to give the ball over on downs to Iowa and would have had one play from midfield to win the game.
True freshman quarterback, I guess, Mike. They always blame the quarterback or the head coach, but that was almost very costly. So you're going to have Martin Manley, who I have seen take it back twice in one game. He's one of the top punt returners in college football. And we'll see if Iowa goes with the all-out block.
Eight seconds remaining, and then we'll send you to Pasadena for the pregame and all the pageantry. Spectacular day at the Rose Bowl. Stanford and Michigan State getting set to square off in the 100th Rose Bowl game. Confusion with Iowa now. Iowa doesn't have Martin Manley back deep. They're running players off the field. Iowa was confused. There's a flag down for Iowa with perhaps too many men on the field. Meantime, the ball on the bounce is picked up and flipped wildly across the field towards Anthony Hitchens. And now they're trying to do the old Stanford cow. It's deflected forward by Morris and tackled there. Again, there are two flags down. One, I believe, is on Iowa for the number of players they had on the field. I think the second one is for the ball going forward. This game should be over. John, you mentioned there at the end of it, you get Martin Manley back or go for the all-out block, and there was confusion with Iowa.
Yes. You see Tanner Miller, number 5, Loudermilk, were confused.
Illegal bat on the receiving team. Penalties declined. The game is over.
Kirk Ferentz is saying, wait a minute, he wants to talk to the official because when they were running a player off, they had 11 players on the field, but they had a legal batting penalty that happened back at the goal lines. The players were trying to throw it back and forth. Brings the game to an end, and LSU has won an interesting 2014 Outback Bowl, 21-14. Jeremy Hill, the big running star of this game. Lisa standing by with Coach.
Thank you, Mike Les. You defended the fake punt. You stopped them 4th and 1 late in the game. Describe the effort of your defense.
Defense played spectacular, and really we put them on the field. The one drive in the second half offensively contributed, but boy, that defense was start to finish dominant.
We know what Jeremy Hill did, but all before the game we were talking about your true freshman quarterback. How do you think he did?
I think he did. For a first start, there we go. Well done. Managed it to a point. Did some things that we'll not have him do, but it's a nice start, and we'll see where we go from here.
Thank you. Congratulations and Happy New Year, Coach.
Happy New Year.
LSU with questions. Who will be the quarterback of the future? Jennings wins today. Our final score, LSU 21, Iowa 14. With John Gruden, Lisa Salters, Mike Tirico. Now the BCS pregame show. Get you set for the Rose Bowl to Pasadena, and here's Chris Fowler.